Today is Peace, my brother Alim. Welcome back to the House of Consciousness Information, where we document our story live on videotape. Today, this lecture is a powerful ritual tape. Every time this tape is played in your home, it will automatically give you power if you dissect this information and use it properly. This is the day that the election is going on, that the Negroes are running out to vote. We are still caught up in the matrix. So what I want to do to you today is bring on Brother Alim, and we're going to deal with the dark side and the underworld. Brother Alim.
Another in the House of Consciousness for having me back once again. As the brother said, we're going to deal with the dark side for the day. This is election day, November the 2nd. We know that Halloween was just a couple of days ago, and Halloween Eve was 3 days ago. And as we know that within the 3-day span of particular, I guess you could say, solar activity is a window in which that is open up for certain energies to come through. So we know that, you know, at once upon a time, that Halloween Eve or Halloween actually dealt with the ancestral energy, and we're gonna get more into that connection in a few minutes as we go through some of the questions.
Okay. The first question I have for you today, Brother Alim, is dealing with the dark side. When you die, where do the spirit go? Or what happened to the spirit when you die? Where does the spirit go?
All right, there's a difference between the spirit and the soul, the mind and the physical body. Those are aspects in which that actually make up you as a human being, in which that has 5 senses, sight, touch, taste, smell, and hearing, in which that deals with basically the desire body, or what is called the emotional body, which is also affiliated with the soul body. However, the soul body is a higher refined body of the spiritual body. All right. For example, you have the physical body, you have the astral body, you have the emotional body, which some say is the astral body, and also the astral body, some say, is also the etheric body. Then you also have the mental body, the causal body, the higher etheric body, which is just, some say is the spiritual body, and the soul body. So you have 7 bodies. You're a multi-dimensional being. You're not just your physical body. That's one of the tricks in which that Europeans have made us believe, is that, you know, when the physical body passes on and goes back to the dust, returns to the dust, is that's it, you know. But we have to ask the question, well, what was moving the physical body at that one point in time? You know, what happened to that which was moving it, making it see, making it touch, making it smell, making it hear, making it see? What was making it do these things? You know, and the only conclusion that you have to have common sense to come to is that it has to deal with some type of energy. And we know that energy, even according to Albert Einstein, a Jew, who rediscovered the formula of E equal mc squared, that energy equal mass per constant speed of light. So that means that energy equal mass. That mass can be transferred into energy into mass or matter at the frequency of 186,000 miles per second, which is the traveling speed of light. So that's basically what that is telling you, is that, you know, that there's an energy exchange. As a matter of fact, the physical body at the time of death can be weighed, and 70 grams would be, there would be a 70-gram difference between the living body and the dead body. So that means that something had to have left the physical body. 70 grams, there's a weight difference. So if that 70 grams is gone, then you have to ask, well, hold on, what was that in which that made the body lighter? You know, 70 grams lighter. You know, and once again, the only conclusion is that it had to have dealt with energy. All right, energy is the equivalent to spirit. All things in which that has the ability, in order to see, touch, taste, smell, and hear, has a spirit. All right, but not everything have a soul. The soul is the higher refined spirit. For example, you have 6 ether. 6 ether is spirit, all right? But 9 ether is soul. So there's a difference. All right. Now, when you see the yin and yang, you see the symbol of the yin and yang. You see what looks like a 6, and then what looks like a 9, and then they combine and come together, look like the 69, or like in tantric or sexual, thiosexology. You know what I'm saying? Of the figure of like Geb and Nut combined in. You know what I'm saying? In ancient Kemetic teachings, of bringing two forces together, masculine and feminine, combined. Well, it's just like a plug in a socket. The plug is the positive electrical properties. That's what the plug is. The socket itself is the negative passive properties. All right. So you get AC/DC. One is drawn from another, in which that produce what? Electrical results. So energy is the unification of the magnetic and feminine principles, and that's what life is. Life itself is the combination of masculine and feminine principles. Polarity.
As Araya showed one time on the tape, whereas a brother crashed his car and he died, and at the time of the snapshot, he captured the spirit leaving the body.
Right. Once again, was it the spirit or was it the soul? See, that's the thing, is that the word spirit, according to Webster Dictionary, means the breath. And then you go to the word breath in Webster Dictionary and look it up, and it says that is spirit. Now, the word spirit simply is derived from the word sparrow. In other words, that which moves around in a rotation manner, usually clockwise, because usually that's how all galaxies spiral, is in a clockwise manner. So basically what that means is that hurricanes, clockwise manner, tornadoes, clockwise manner. So everything spirals. So all of that is spirit. All right. So when Africans say, "Oh, there's spirit in the trees," or "there's spirit in the river," or "there's spirit," it is. Because if there was a whirlpool in the water and in the ocean, what would it do? Clockwise position once again. So so you put the thing from out of the tub, the little stopper from out of the tub, and watch how the water goes. Clockwise position down the drain. So once again, that's showing, that's what that's talking about. And what the ancestor was speaking of basically was energy as it spirals down from the constellations, what is called cosmic chi, and how it forms and accumulates, I guess you can say, the physical body into existence. How it brings the physical body into existence by the parents, and then resides in the what we call the womb for 9 months in order to come forth into the light. So basically what that is all talking about is the way in which this energy, prana energy, cosmic chi energy, kundalini energy, all spirals and makes and forms life, because actually the kundalini energy itself is the seat of life, or the seat of light.
Yeah, so you was talking about the difference between the soul and the spirit.
Right. For example, in Hebrew, in Arabic, if you study either one of the languages, you will find that the word ruku is actually translated as soul within Hebrew and Arabic. Ruk or ruku or ruha. All right. And nephesh is the words translated in Hebrew and Arabic for the word spirit. So if there's a word for soul, and it's ruhu or ruha, and then there's a word for spirit, then that means that it's two different things, because otherwise it would be the same word. But those two words are used interchangeably in your Bible itself. All right. Usually when they speak, like for example in Genesis, when it speaks about, and the Lord God breathed into the nostrils of man, and man became a living soul, that word in which that they translated for soul is actually nephesh. So it should be spirit. And the word that they translated for the breath of life, breathing the breath of life into his nostrils, that should be translated as ruha or ruku, which is soul. So once again, the breath of life is equivalent to the soul itself. So that's why I made the points about the science of breath, is because actually you can, from one side, you can transform into the other. Like for example, spirit is soul, but at a higher refinement. All right. I should say soul is spirit at a higher refinement. That's what it is. All right. So soul is spirit, but it's just a higher, more refined essence of the spirit. Like for example, the Kundalini energy is translated as spirit or as the Holy Spirit. All right. But the soul is embedded inside of the pineal gland, and the only way in which that this marriage can happen is if the energy is risen up from the sacral area in the back of your spinal column up through your 7 chakras, and then hit the pineal gland, and then to awaken the 3rd ventricle caverns, which is called the cave of Brahma. All right, and awaken the sleeping Shiva, as they say. And the word Shiva is from where we get the word 7 from. So it's the 7th area. So it would be equivalent to the 7th seal, as we would say in the book of Revelations. And as it awakens, then you are able to cosmically travel or soul travel, you know what I'm saying, the universe. You know what I'm saying? All 76 quintillion diameter miles, you know what I'm saying, in circumference of it.
From what I understand, the difference between the original man, the black man, and white people is that we have a soul and they don't have a soul.
Basically, right.
So we understand that they were grafted into existence.
Right.
So what would have caused us to graft?
But you got to understand. Well, what happened was, all right, there was a planet in which I went over this before. There's a planet in which that used to reside between Jupiter and Mars. It was called Moldic. And this planet was approximately 3 times the size of our planet Earth as it is today. Matter of fact, our planet Earth was part of that planet at one time. It was the asteroid belt, the moon, and our Earth. All right? The beings on that planet at that particular time, the Meldekians, blew themselves up because they got technology in which that was similar to the nuclear technology and atomic technology in which they have now. In other words, they learned how to split the atom. And there was wars and wars based on the same nonsense that's going on now. Racism, not per se racism, but sexism and all of this nonsense, you know what I'm saying? Bias, you know, the same type of nonsense that, you know, that we can, that we see and experience even today. And it escalated to, you know, to the destruction of the planet. Well, those beings need to have finished out their karmic debt, you know what I'm saying? And so the ancient Atlanteans, which became the ancient Egyptians, after the landmass sunk, told themselves that they would create and bring a physical body into existence by drafting it from the Neanderthal man and the Sasquatch, in which that we would call Bigfoot. And then it would be incubated within of an albino Nubian being, all right, which would be a sister, what we would consider a sister, but it would still be an albino. And so what happened was that as these bodies was incubated, you know what I'm saying, you know, they performed certain ceremonies and rituals in which that was able to channel the energy down, in which that was in the ionosphere, because that's where the beings got trapped at, or as they traveled, that's where they got that's where they was located at for the time being, until there was beings in which that was able to channel the energy down into these physical bodies. The white man or the pale man himself is nothing more than the physical representation of our lower nature. Okay, and that's what he was drafted into, was to be a physical representation of what we do not want to do again, and also not what we want to become. You know what I'm saying? So now that's why there's a time in order to pick sides now. Either you're gonna follow him, or either you're gonna follow, you know what I'm saying, your higher self, or the God force within you, or the Etherians, as we would say. All right? So that's what's going on.
All right, now, a lot of people would say that we wouldn't be going through these problems today in America if it wasn't for the fact that the Moors civilized the white man. From what I understand, the white man didn't create anything. Everything he learned from us.
Right.
So what was the use of the Moors civilizing the Europeans and teaching them?
Well, you got, when you get to a point of science, you realize that basically everything on this planet is an experiment, and he himself is an experiment. So what they was attempting to do was do what we call alchemy, and that was to change base lead into gold, and that was basically to put a soul into a soulless body. They couldn't find a way in order to do that. They was able to put a spirit there, you know what I'm saying, which was based on negative properties, but they was not able to put a soul there.
That's deep right
So since they wasn't able to
Word.
put, so since they weren't able to put the soul there, what happened was that they ended up mixing in with them, hoping that the child, in which that would be the byproduct of the union, would, you know, would at least be able to have a soul. So that's what happened with that, and that was the whole reason on why they civilized them, because they knew that basically. And also, you got to realize is that at first everybody didn't agree with this. There was a small group of what was called the Yakubites, which was basically the Hyksos dynasty. All right. In which that they was able to they invaded ancient Kemet in the 15th dynasty and got a lot of the ancient mystery school information. And the Hyksos became later on the Habarus, which later on became the Hebrews. And these Hebrews gave some of this information to what is called the Khazars, in which we get the Jewish converts, you know what I'm saying, into Judaism. And the word Judah comes from the word Tehudi, which is Tahudi. All right, so Judah is actually the religion of Tahudi, or the school of Tahudi. So it's not a religion, it's a school. Okay, just like Christianity is the school of Keres. All right, the word Keres is where the word Christ comes from, or Krishna comes from, which means the black one. You know, right? It's talking about the mummified Osirian soul. It's talking about the soul in which that is embedded inside of the pineal gland, in which that is all saw. In which that's been cut up into 14 pieces. In other words, been fragmented. In other words, our thinking, our behavior, our compartments in our minds have been broken up into and sectioned off. And so now we see everything linearly instead of seeing everything holistically. So now this is the time that we're in, is to begin to see and begin to put everything back holistically and put things, is like a puzzle, and put the pieces of the puzzle back together again.
Okay. As we talk about the dark side, this is the name of this lecture.
Right.
What is the dark side in the underworlds? What is that all about?
All right, the underworlds itself is nothing more than the subconscious. All right. As you physically live, you have states in which that changes. You have beta state, in which that is now your woken state, like we are woke right now. Then you have a trance-like state, in which that is when you're in between this world and the next world. In other words, when you can hear people around you, but you dozing off and you get ready to go into a trance-like state. That is alpha state. Then you go into REM, which is rapid eye movement, which is theta state. Then you go into when you go into vivid dreams and visions and prophecies. That's what is called delta state. Then you go into delta theta state, in which that is the dreamless state. All right, so those would be the 5 states of consciousness, in which that coincides with consciousness, subconsciousness, superconsciousness, magnetic consciousness, and infinite consciousness. Everything that's above consciousness, which is subconsciousness, superconsciousness, magnetic consciousness, and infinite consciousness, is the underworld.
Would you say that dreams, like when you go to sleep, where do dreams come from? Is that like the underworld, or is that a part of?
The dreams themselves are actually derived from certain compartments in the brain, in which that, like for example, memory is stored in what we call the medulla oblongata. All right, your supposedly past lives and photographic memory is stored there. So, and also in your frontal lobes and near your amygdala glands, which is right here on the side of your temples of your head. Based on your emotional state and your perception of daily activities, what happens is the way in which that you record those activities in your mind is what is being played back to you while you're asleep, in order to help you find answers to the certain problems in which that you might have gone through throughout the day. All right. So basically, is a way in order to help you overstand your existence.
Even if it's a bad dream.
Even if it's bad, that's most
trying to tell you something.
It's trying to tell you the symbols in which that's being conveyed need to be studied, written down, looked at, analyzed, find some books, you know what I'm saying, good dream books, or either the best thing is actually to ask yourself, you know, what does this mean to you? You know, because sometimes the dream books are off. So, you know, if you get study Carl Jung, you know, he's one of the better ones as far as with the information as far as dreams are concerned. And basically, he just breaks down that symbols in dreams or ways in which that your mind help cope with the daily life activities and to help you answer questions of life.
Okay, I have a question from Brother Big Man.
All right.
The first question he asked me to ask you is, what is a master teacher?
All right. The word master itself comes from the word ma and star. All right. The ma star, all right, is talking about Sirius B. All right. Sirius B is the star of Isis or the star of Auset. And so the ma would be short for Ma'at, or which would be another form of Auset or Isis. And the star would be the dog star itself, which would be Sirius. So a master would be one who would deal with enlightenment as well as with endowment. In other words, he will balance it out as far as what the universe balance it out to is 90% dark matter, 10% light. So that's a master, is one who is able to bring those things into balance. All things in life into balance. From your daily activities such as proper diet, proper attitude, proper behavior, proper thoughts, proper activities. You know, all those things have to be brought into proper balance, basically. Following the 7 laws of Ma'at, the 7 laws of Tahuti, will help bring things into balance. Studying the laws of correspondence, which is one of the laws of Tahuti, mentalism, rhythm, vibration, gender, which is sex, you know, cause and effect, you know, polarity. You know, those would be those particular laws. You know, studying the science of what we would consider love, you know, what we consider to be truth, righteousness, understanding, you know, compassion, you know, peace, you know, balance, harmony. You know, those would be some of the laws of Ma'at. So basically just bringing everything in which that you have into existence into a well-balanced lifestyle, so that you're not that you're not one extreme and that you're not too fanatical to another end of that spectrum. In other words, you have to deal with polarity, which, as we know, polarity is right at 2 ends. It's like you have 2 ends of a burning stick, and you can't put your hands at the end of the stick. You got to find a way in order to put your hand in the middle, so that neither one, you know, will tip over and burn you up. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is to find a balance, and the balance will usually be that with what we call the middle path. And the middle path is spoken of within Buddhism, you know, in which that they say comes from Buddha, but there was no Buddha in that sense. Even Siddhartha Gautama, you know, if he existed, was a pattern after the ancient Kemetic teachings of Ptah or Puta. And Puta or Ptah or Ta, or the Tahites, was a tribe called the Twa. All right? And when the word Ptah developed into what we call later on, Ptah becomes the word father later on, or Ptah Ra or father later on. So it was the father deity Ptah Ra who emerged from out of Noon, because Ptah Ra was the same deity as Atun Re, or also Amen Ra, as he becomes. So, you know, it's the same deity in ancient Kemetic teachings, but it means basically the father principle.
Okay. All right. You briefly mentioned love. I have a question concerning love and you know, relationships. What happens to a black man or a black female? I guess you would say metaphysically, or you know, whatever, spiritually, when you sleep and you exchange energy with a person of the white race. What is happening? What's happening? Is your Kundalini energy being raised at all? What's going on?
It depends on the way in which that you use the energy, I assume. I've never been with a white woman, so I can't really speak as far as the sexual aspect, but you know, I do know that you're working with 6 etheric beings, and that's what pale people are. They're 6 etheric beings. They're ghost beings. All right, a ghost, usually when you see a ghost, it's pale in color. All right, we refer to the European as the pale man. So he's a ghost. He has a ghost spirit. All right, we are hued people. We have color. We have life. You know what I'm saying? We have rhythm. We have, you know what I'm saying? We're soul people. They refer to everything that we do as having soul, soul music, soul people, soul food. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they know who we are essentially, you know, and so we find out that we're 9th etheric beings, all right? And being 9th etheric beings means that we're universal beings. We're a combination of earth, air, water, fire, in which that forms ether as it comes combined at its highest refinement, all right? And so that's who we are, you know? So if there's an exchange of energy, then it wouldn't be the higher aspect drawn forth from the lower one unless he or she is conscious of it. It would be more likely of the lower energy pulling forth from the higher aspect in order to make themselves stronger. So we find out that oftentimes I've heard brothers in which that might have been with a white woman or whatever, other than the fact on how she smells, you know what I'm saying? Because I done heard brothers say smell anything from damn cheese to damn wet dog, you know what I'm saying? And you know, so you know that always been the turn off to me was that damn wet dog smell. So I knew I couldn't go towards that shit. But anyway, but either on Black and White, Method Man, I think it was Method Man or either one of the rappers said on there in the movie Black and White that it felt like the white girl was sucking his energy. You know what I'm saying? He was sexing the white girl. And he said it felt like she was sucking my energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's deep within itself, you know, because that's not the first time I heard that. You know what I'm saying? In the movie, I heard other black folks, other black males in particular, say that too. That it felt like, you know, they was felt real drained afterwards. Like there was no equal exchange of energy, and it isn't, because they're not our equal. So.
Okay, I have another question from Big Man. Big Man asked me to ask you to break down the word Halloween and its history.
All right. Hello, basically comes the word Helios, which means sun, or the word holy, which means sun. Ween is actually another word for the word week. All right. So it was the Holy Week or the Sun Week, and what it was is that you had the sun going into the month of, or particularly the astrological sign of Scorpio. Scorpio deals with the genitalia. Scorpio deals with the symbol of death.
Is there a connection with the African culture in mass?
Yes. You go back to Africa and you find the use of mass throughout basically every culture, all the way from the Igbo to the Ifa to the Akan to the Yoruba to they always had symbols in mass. You ancient Kemites, you know, which would be the Egyptians, in which some would say you see them with the mass. Or the drawings of certain heads, such as the crocodile and the black-headed jackal, like for Anubis, the hippopotamus head, or the falcon head, or what we call the hawk head. So you see them with these symbols, you know, in these masks. You go to the Maasai tribe, you go to the Dogon tribe, as they do their Ziggy ceremonies and their other rituals, they wear masks. So the mask thing has always been a part of African culture, you know. However, you know, those is based on holy days in which that we used to practice at one point. Like for example, on June 23rd, in which that would be a day in which that the Dogons have their celebrations once every 50 years. which would be the Jubilee year mentioned within the book of in the Old Testament as in the book of Hebrews, that every 49 years you would store up all your food, and then for the 50th year, you would celebrate the whole year long. And so that would be the Jubilee year. That would be symbolic to the exchange of energy between Sirius A and Sirius B every 50 years as they travel around each other in an elliptical pattern and exchange energy. Matter of fact, so much to that they exchange energy till they flip-flop over each other, you know what I'm saying, and produce large amounts of energies and electromagnetic fields in which that we sit downstream from that energy. So we receive that energy directly as far as being earthlings. Matter of fact, that's one of the basic energies in which that formed our DNA into existence. That's a matter of fact, our DNA comes from the star constellation Sirius. And that's the reason why the Dogon say that we are Syrian beings. So as far as being Syrian beings, you know, we used to celebrate, you know, the science of the circle, 360 degrees. That's how we always usually travel, and the elliptical pattern was in that manner. As we did our dance rituals and ceremonies, was the dance in a circular manner. But we don't see that taking place on Halloween, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, with the majority of people which that is going around wearing their masks, you know, which is mostly of devils, you know, and goblins and ghouls, and, you know, everybody want to be Jason or Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, or either Michael Myers, or what's the other one? Scream, the one with the long, you know, white, you know, ghostly looking face. You know, that's all I seen these past 3 days up here in New York was you know, those faces. You know, from the day I got up here that Friday morning all the way until Sunday. You know, that's all I seen, you know, for them 3 days was trick or treat. So they basically made trick or treat into a 3-day activity. You know what I'm saying? They trying to make it back into a weekly thing.
All right, the last question from Brother Big Man is this. Drinking blood for power, menstrual cycle blood.
All right.
What kind of toxics is that in the blood?
All right, that is something in which that advanced teachings speak on, such as teachings within certain ancient mystery schools, such as the Tibetans, the Tao monks, you know, and certain other monks in which that, you know, and teachers and practitioners in which that practice those types of rituals and ceremonies. It's something in which that was done like in the Gnostic sects. Like the Gnostics used to practice drinking of the semen and also of the menstrual blood. So I mean, it's something in which that we have done as far as ritually, but this is for advanced students and advanced practitioners. This is not something in which that somebody who's just watching these tapes for the first time need to be concerned with, nor study at this particular time. Take your time and come up through the ranks and study and you know, get your information up, get your knowledge up, get your wisdom up, get your understanding, overstanding, and understanding up, you know, and you know, master, you know what I'm saying, first from the physical, and then you can take it on up into the spiritual, soulful aspects. You know, in that same regard, life is in the blood. So there's ways in which that you can extend your life principle by performing certain rituals with the blood, menstrual blood, and well as also with the semen. The Gnostics, as a matter of fact, would take the semen and mix it with wine after they ejaculated. Matter of fact, this is the technique in which they would do, because most people don't know this, but what they would do if they did masturbate, what they would do is circle the energy 7 times up in what is called microcosmic heavenly orbit, in which that they would circle it up from the base of the spine up towards the head and back down to the perineum, back up, down, 7 times. And then on the 7th time, after the 7th time, they would ejaculate. And then they would mix it with wine, and that's what they would do with the semen, mix it with wine and then drink it. All right? So, you know, these are ancient rituals in which that was done in order to help lengthen the lifespan of an individual, because life is in the blood. So, now as far as with the menstrual blood, as well as also with the semen, you have to realize is that 1 tablespoon of semen or sperm is basically equivalent to 2 New York porterhouse steaks, 6 oranges, 8 eggs, 2 cups of milk, all right, and 2 lemons, you know. So I mean, that is just within 1 tablespoon, you know what I'm saying, of semen. So if the sister swallowed that, you know what I'm saying, or put that on her skin, it is very nutritious, you know what I'm saying. You know, now of course, you know, make sure that your man is healthy. You know, he done had AIDS tests, syphilis tests, herpes tests, gonorrhea tests. You know he don't have anything. You know he's healthy, you know what I'm saying? Then you shouldn't have any problem because there's already been an exchange of energy by sexual intercourse already. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the man, you know, with the menstrual blood, they also would take the menstrual blood of the woman, mix it with the semen. This is what would be called the tantric drink. All right, in ancient times, they would do this. They would take the menstrual blood and the semen and mix it together, you know what I'm saying, and put it with the wine and drink it. All right? And, you know, that will help lengthen the life, you know what I'm saying, of the individual. Now, what's within, Bobby speaks about this all the time. You got the ojas, the kalis, you know what I'm saying, the different various, you know what I'm saying, other nutrients. Now, those words oja and kali and all those other words, you know what I'm saying, are Hindu, Sanskrit, Vedic words. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing more than the same thing that we saying is that there's vitamins and minerals. All right? The word vitamin, you know what I'm saying, comes from the word vite, you know what I'm saying, which is short for vital, and then amen, which means what? The hidden one. Right? So the vital hidden one. So it's the vital substance which is hidden. That's what vitamin is. All right? You get the word mineral. Mineral. Min is who? Short for Amen. Once again, Min was the god who held his penis in his hands, in which that was symbolic to the fertility god. All right? And then is short for Ra, and Al is short for Il, which is God once again. So it's the fertility sun god. So minerals is symbolic to this fertility sun god. So those are symbolic to the same thing as ojas and kalis and, you know, all those, you know, when people, you know, say those terms, they don't realize that that is a Hindu language. That is not, you know, where's the translation at? I'm using those words and it's throwing people off and they thinking it's some old spooky shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, but it's not. It's talking about the personification of the hormones and the chemicals in which that interacts with the body, in which that helps cleanse the body and help the cellular structure extend its life, you know what I'm saying, principle. That's what it does. It helps extend the life principle. So that's, you know, the science of that.
Now,
did I explain it?
That,
okay.
Yeah, that's right. One more thing you can have. Urine therapy.
All right.
What does that really do? Does it really like cleanse you? And
it can.
I remember the grandmother putting a diaper on your face and clearing up the spots that's on your face. I saw that work. Right. You know, I have a tape on urine therapy, so people see it. But like you said, you got to be healthy. You got to be eating right. Right. So your urine could be right. Talk a little bit about that there.
All right. What cleans the melanin is vitamin B12, B2, and B6. You know, which is, you know.
And where do you get that from?
You basically can get it from green leafy vegetables. The best source would be probably spirulina and chlorella. It's called sun chlorella. Chlorella is the one of the most darkest chlorophyll plants on the planet. Matter of fact, during World War II of the bomb being dropped in 1945 on Hiroshima and Nagasaki by the United States, you'll find that those Japanese used chlorella in order to heal themselves from the radiation poisoning. So if you're taking chlorella and you're taking spirulina as a mixture, as well as you're also mixing up wheatgrass along with alfalfa, then shit, you got one of the most potent concoctions on the planet as far as keeping yourself healthy.
But they
and
don't sell that around here.
No, they don't, but we sell it in my store.
Oh,
Cultural Freedom Bookstore, North Carolina. We make up the herb concoctions, and I take that basically every day, as much as possible. Now if you gotta go take a piss test, I advise you not to take it for at least 3 days prior to your piss test, because it will come back that your ass is on marijuana. I guarantee you,
much that go for?
because it's so much THC, which is the same thing as THC which is carbon within your system. There's the only thing between the color green and your melanin is one magnesium molecule. That's the only difference, is one magnesium molecule. So chlorophyll is very similar, is damn near identical to your melanin. So you can't take too much of it, because if you have an overabundance of melanin, it's going to bring back your test as far as saying that you have that you've been smoking some herb. All right, that's just a little warning for those out there in the audience, in video land.
All right, yeah. Since you're talking about chlorophyll and like certain foods, I heard you on one of your tapes mention that 90-something% of your health problems come from the mind.
Right, 99%.
99%.
Right.
Opposed to what you eat.
Right.
So, is what they telling us, like nutritionists or whoever you may call them, telling us about the right foods to eat? Is all that? Would you consider that like bullshit? And it's all dealing with your mind and how strong your mental is, or does that play a role too?
The mind factor is very important, but then again, that 1% is also important too, because it's still not 100%. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that 1% is in proper correlation with that 99. Otherwise, it's still out of balance. So that's the thing. Even though 99% of it is mental, that 1% still have an effect upon your existence. And so that 1% would be similar to the intake of your food, the intake of your drink. All right. We know for sure that there's people in which has been able to take certain poisons, and nothing happened to them. While there's other people in which that can take the same poisons, and they die. So, what was the difference between them? Obviously it had to be something mentally in which that helped propel the one in which that didn't die, and his strong genetic coding, which is based on the memories anyway, which is the mental, from not being hurt or harmed, as compared to the one in which that passed on, to the next plane of existence. So the mental aspect is the most important, and that's why you definitely got to have proper thoughts, along with your proper actions.
Now you mentioned earlier you mentioned Reiki to me.
Right.
Now, what's the science of Reiki?
Reiki is the universal life force. Basically, it is cosmic chi energy in which that is channeled down through your melanin, particularly from the top of your head through your antennas, which is your hair follicles, being non-etheric, which is symbolic to the symbol of Sheen, which is within ancient Kemetic teachings would be spirit. And that energy is drawn down into your pineal gland, and then your pineal gland acts as a step-down transformer to your pituitary gland, and then from your pituitary gland to your thyroid gland, and then from your thyroid gland to your thymus gland, then from your thymus gland to your pancreas, and then from your pancreas to your prostate gland, all right? And for the woman, to the uterus, all right? So those would be the step-down transformation steps in which that this energy takes through your endocrine gland system, in which that your chakra system superimposes itself upon these particular endocrine glands, which also excretes your hormones, in which that keeps your hormonal balance in place and actually keeps your physical existence here on earth.
So you would say like disease and stuff like that, that's when you're not in harmony with yourself?
Well, see, this is the thing, is that
we've been told that it's all food, like Dr. Sabian says, it's the accumulation of mucus.
I know. Well, I mean, the accumulation of mucus once again, mucus has to be accumulated. So the thing is that means you have to have eaten something in
Dairy,
excess.
a lot of dairy stuff.
Right. You have to have eaten something in excess. What about if you don't eat anything in excess? You know what I'm saying? The thing is that you got to realize is that, yes, diet plays an important part, but it only accounts for approximately 14% of your genetic structure. You know what I'm saying? What's the other percentage? You know what I'm saying? That still leave 86%. In which that is not accounted for. Now, of course, that's just food. So we know that water has to play a part. You know what I'm saying? And we know that, I guess you would say there's nothing else except for the breath and the mental aspect. So that means that the water, breath, and the mental aspect plays the greatest role as compared to the food intake as far as your genetic structure is concerned. Because there is only about 14%. So the other 86% comes from water, breath, mind. All right? In which that helps links to the divine soul. So yes, there is from body, you know what I'm saying? From body, you know what I'm saying, to the mind, to the or the spirit, and then to the soul. There's a connection, but remember, we're dealing with holism, holistic teachings here. So all of it has to be holistic and commune together. It has to be a correlation. If not, if one spoke is thrown out of the bracket, then the whole wheel is messed up. Okay? And if it can get caught on something and then throw your behind off, of course. So that's the thing, is that you want to keep all the spokes together as much as possible. So yes, diet plays an important part, but it's not the most important. It plays an important part, but it's not the most important.
Okay. And dealing with the dark side, I want to ask you this question. It's two questions, but I ask you both of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say we come from another planet.
Right.
I know we heard these teachings before.
Right.
I don't know. I'm still looking for that
Right.
That knowledge and information.
Right.
Were we always here on planet Earth? If not, where do we come from? And also, where do white people come from?
Okay.
They say that the white man is created by science.
Okay.
Where do we come from, and where do the white man come from?
Okay. You have beings in which that's been here from the existence of the planet coming into creation, through the amoeba, protozoa, on up through what we would call the animal, or what we call evolutional process.
Explosion and all that.
That's basically will be what we would call the ape-like creatures, or the monkeys, or that type of branch. The European will have us to believe that that everybody comes from monkeys. Right. That is not true. All right, we know that for a fact that everybody do not come from monkeys, because black people do not have any similarities to a monkey whatsoever. As far as you look at the hair follicles on our hair, monkeys have fur. If we were the first to come derived from monkeys, then why do we not have fur? Europeans have fur.
That's right.
All right. So if we was the first to derive from monkeys, then we should still have the hair texture of an animal, and we do not have such. Also, they say that we come from monkeys or apes. Supposedly, a chimpanzee have about 98 to 99% of the same genetic makeup. That's what they claim. But we found out that basically they talking about their genetic makeup, not ours. All right. There's a distinct difference in which that the codings of the DNA, even between black and whites, are different. All right. Matter of fact, and oftentimes they repel each other. All right. We ourselves, according to all of the ancient people, say that we derive from the stars. All of the ancient people say so. Excuse me. I need some water.
Yeah, I had the freezer.
I got
Do you
one.
have anything that you want to show to?
Yeah, I'm getting ready.
With the Orion and all that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get into
Press
that.
pause for a minute.
Okay.
Go ahead, ask that again, Rick.
Let me deal with yours first, and we get the rich.
Oh, okay. You know what I'm talking about.
Right. All right.
Where do we come from, and where do the white man come from?
Okay. Give me a second, farmer. You still got it on pause?
Okay, the question I asked you is about where do we come from, and where do white people come from?
All right.
Yeah, I'm zooming in now.
Okay. Now, as you see, DNA spirals in the elliptical pattern. Well, right here, you see the same exact elliptical pattern of Sirius A and Sirius B, which was the same as our DNA. You'll see the similarities? Mm-hmm. What the Dogons say is that approximately all of the black folks, or what we assume to be black folks, the Africans, come from the star constellation Sirius, or in one shape, form, or fashion. What that basically means is that the chi, cosmic energy, in which that came and flows down this armband. For example, in one of my articles in which that I did, which was called From Mere Men to Super Niggas, which I go over the word of nigger in there, I also wrote right here that the planet Uranus also is a transmitter of the Syrian forces. Now, before that, this is what I said too. That if you go to the Holy Quran, chapter 53, you have the star chapter, and it's called Al-Najm. And it says that he, Allah, is the Lord of the Sirius, the mighty star. And it says physicists, recognize that the universe is a construct of energy bundles known as quanta. We laymen can think of these in one sense as particles with an electrical charge. Particles can be positive, negative, or neutral. Recent finds reveal we are downstream from Sirius in the part of a galactical arm our solar system resides in. Every 49.9, average out 50 years, is a Jubilee year in the Bible. The two stars in Sirius, Sirius A and Sirius B, comes as close together as their orbit allows, creating huge magnetic storms between them. And as they approach each other, the stars both begin to spin faster and the tidal forces become stronger, finally flip-flopping over, actually trading places with each other. And it says, imagine a gigantic electrical turbine engine twisting and spinning, generating billions and billions of voltage of electricity. Even during normal phases of its life, a tremendous amount of electrical energy is created on Sirius, making it the most energized positive point in our little corner of the universe, or of our solar system, or as we say, of our galaxy. Said this energy is eventually released to flow down the magnetic field line to the sun, which transmits its energy, which is higher charged particles like a lens or magnifying glass, intensifying the rays like a laser to all of the planets in our solar system. Now, this is what I showed the other day. Where's the, oh no, I'll just do it like this. This is what we did the other day lecture on, showing you energy at birth and life purpose. And it shows you right here that from the central sun of Alcyon and the Pleiades, the energy goes to Sirius, and then the energy comes through the planets to our Earth, in which that it helps with the formation of DNA. So this is what I was basically talking about in the article, and here's the picture in order to show it. It says the energy of the sea of life is focused through the planetary grids onto the DNA. The moment of birth dictates the polarities of 12 different poles of emotional expression. The Earth acts as a lens at conception and birth, focusing stellar emotional consciousness, which is called astral energies, into our DNA. These DNA encarves patterns focus our behavioral characters for the duration of our incarnation that we presently live in. So we continue on. It says the planet Uranus is also a transmitter of the Syrian forces, as we just seen. The constellation Aquarius governs Uranus, and that's important because we moved into now the age of Aquarius. Sirius is connected to our sun like a neuron because they have this major mathematical relationship and size to each other and harmonic resonance, and is likened to a holographic matrix. This present matrix is being destroyed. The Earth's electromagnetic field is lowering, and the Earth's heartbeat, which is called the Schumann resonance, is increasing. Now, we spoke about that, but we're going to go further here, back into the Sirius. Sirius is considered by the ancient Kemites, Egyptians, to be the most important star in the sky, and was astronomically the foundation of the entire religious systems. So all of the religious systems in the world is based off of the information in which that they got from out of ancient Kemet, in which that they speak about the star constellation Sirius. This is why you find the term Sirius mentioned in the Holy Quran, and you also find the same constellations mentioned in Job 9:9 in the Bible itself. All right,
so and we're going to tie this all into how we got here.
Right, right. I'm getting ready to get to that right now. All right. This is what it says. The Dogon say that astronomical knowledge was given to them by the Nomos. All right. The word Nomos comes from the word Mos, which comes from the word Moses or Mesh or Messiah. Amphibious beings sent to Earth from Sirius for the benefit of humanity. The name comes from the Dogon word meaning to make one drink. And the Nomos are the ones also called masters of the waters, which means the emotions. The monitors or watchers and the teachers, they are the saviors and spiritual guardians during Pisces, the age of belief. Now, the Nomos were crucified and resurrected, and in the future will again visit the earth, this time in human form, literally inside of you, meaning the full reactivation of the Kundalini energy to the pineal gland. Deep within each person is a divine spark, or inner God, or the son of a son. Later, we'll assume his amphibious form and will rule the world from the waters. The Kemetic god Konu, which is, or Num, is the same as the Dogon Nomo. All right. Now, Krita Mutwa, he makes it plain in which that he states that the Amazulu, before they came to planet Earth, they resided on the planet Mars. Now, Krita Mutwa is from South Africa, and he's a shaman, and his the information which that he's been taught comes from out of the ancient mystery schools of Africa, and it says within there is that and before this, matter of fact, he says that before they came here, they was on Mars, but Earth was the 7th place that they came to. Before that, if you trace their steps back to where they originated from, it was from the star constellation Sirius. So that means that basically, you go back to the ancient Kemites. I just finished telling you that the ancient Kemites say that the most important star, as far as to them in astrology, was dealing with the star what? Constellation Sirius. We just went back also to the Arabs. All right, we talking about the Moors. All right, the Moorish Arabs. All right, those in which that spoke Arabic, not as far as a nationality, but as far in terms of language. But Moorishly, they was black people from out of ancient, they was black people from Africa. They say that in the 53rd chapter of the Holy Quran is that he is the Lord, Allah is the Lord over Sirius, the mighty star. Matter of fact, the whole chapter is written on El Najim, which is, El Najim means the star, which is talking about the star Sirius. You go to Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike, who was the 33rd Grand Sovereign Commander of the Scottish Rites, in the 1800s. He speaks about in there about the blazing star, and this blazing star is Sirius. You go to the Rosicrucian information, In the Rosicrucian information, they speak about a star, this white brotherhood, and come to find out that this is talking about the star Sirius. All right, you go to the Eastern Star, the Masonic information. They speak about a particular star. Matter of fact, the Eastern Star is the symbol of Sirius. So we can keep going back, and all of the ancient world speaks about the star constellations, the star and the constellation Sirius. So you go to the Dogon tribes, in which that probably have the most information on the star Sirius as far as the ancestry. They say that we come from the star constellation Sirius, as I just finished reading that we was the Nomos. And what happened was supposedly is that Sirius B imploded, and the energy in which that was released formed our sun. And out from our sun, being wild in his young age, cast forth solar plasma. And this solar plasma got trapped in 10 different orbits, in which that soon eventually became our planets.
Was we here before the sun?
We was here before the sun, because we was already the Syrian beings. So actually, we formed the sun, from the stardust. Because you come to find out that scientists will tell you that your physical body is nothing but stardust. They tell you this. And go and do some research on what the quantum physicists are saying about the human body. They'll tell you that the human body is stardust. So even your physical body don't derive from planet Earth. It derives from the stars. In particular, the star in which that is derived from is the star constellation Sirius, as everybody within the ancient times proposed.
I don't want to complicate the matter on the origin of us and the universe. I mean, not in Earth or whatever. But I was reading the are you familiar with the Nag Hammadi?
Yeah.
I was reading the Nag Hammadi or whatever, and it was saying how I was reading a chapter called "The Origin of the World," and it was saying how Sophia, or I guess would you call it the Great Mother or something?
Right, Sophia, right, the mother of wisdom.
So it was saying how she had an abortion. And out of this abortion,
Adolabroth.
Adolabroth. And this Adolabroth, this is the God that we've been worshiping all these years, that we go to church and we praise. Is this the same God?
That's Yahweh.
That's Yahweh.
Yeah, Jah.
So Yahweh is in fact the enemy instead of.
Could be.
Could be.
I mean, you wouldn't really want to say that because of the simple fact that he's similar to the architect of the universe, or the father principle. If you ever seen the movie Matrix, remember it tells you that there was a father and a mother. You know what I'm saying? The father, if you notice on the movie, was white. The mother was the oracle. She was black. Who had more power? Who won the battle? You know what I'm saying? She did, right? All right. So basically, she was symbolic to Sophia. Within the Dogon tribe, she would be Amma, A-M-M-A. Amma, you get the word Aminta later on within ancient Kemet, which that represents the underworld or the dark side. She's symbolic also to the star Sirius B that I'm speaking of, which is a brown dwarf star, in which that imploded. And so this dwarf star basically is talking about this energy in which that was released. And what was cast out from her was our sun, which is actually Adolabroth, or which becomes Yaku, or which is Jah or Yah, which is nothing more than our sun itself.
So that's just
and our sun didn't have the ability in order to create life on its own. Remember, I just finished telling you about the solar plasma in which that was cast forth from this young sun, in which that broke forth, or in which that was released from the womb, or imploded this energy, stardust energy, from the in other words, it was cosmically talked about. It was cosmically written. It's not something in which that is spooky or anything. It's just talking about the way that our sun was formed from out of the womb of Sirius B, from the stardust from Sirius B as it imploded on itself. That was the mother principle. That's why you go back to the Eastern stars. They have the 5 women around their star principle. They talk about Electra, Martha, Esther, Ruth, and Mary. Okay. So those would be symbolic to the 5 women in which that makes up, you know what I'm saying, the inverted star, and the inverted star represents descending energy. And descending energy. And so remember, we just finished saying that we sit downstream from Sirius. So Sirius sends forth his energy down to us. So that means that we are receiving inverted energy.
Are we receiving energy from the sun?
Yeah.
Not Series B. I'm talking about the sun, what you would call a algebra.
Yeah, we receive energy from the sun every day. Remember, the sun is what supposedly gives us life here on planet Earth.
So
But remember, I just finished reading too, is that our sun acts as a magnifying glass for the energies in which that come from the star constellation Sirius. So it's not its own energy. It's energy in which that is being propelled by what? Another star. Remember, I just finished showing you? Where's it at? I just finished showing you this picture right here. This is what I'm finished showing you. Right there is Sirius as it's beamed this energy from off of our sun and planets and to the planet Earth, in which that helps with the formation of our DNA. That's what it's talked about as far as our sun breaking out from out of the womb of before its time. That's all it's talking about. It's you know, I know the way in which that is written, that, you know, it might seem, you know what I'm saying, you know, like it's something fantastic, but it ain't.
Everything outside of you exists inside of you.
Right.
As it above, so below.
True. No doubt about it.
Now, dealing with the dark side, let's talk a little about the magical aspect.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into, again, if you would call voodoo or whatever you may have it,
Yeah.
you'll see people doing rituals in which they spit rum, or they might see them on TV. You see those specials like a show called Taboo on National Geographic. You see them cut off a chicken head or something like that.
Yeah, spill the blood.
Spit rum.
Mm-hmm.
What's the science behind that? Because some people say that's just crazy. Like, why would you cut off a chicken head, or why would you spit rum, or why would you leave food laying around? Sometimes they leave food laying around. What's the science behind doing all of that?
All right. You have what is called the ionosphere, and we went over this the other day in the class, in the lecture. Basically, the ionosphere is a mirror image, perfect representation of the planet Earth. So everything in which that is here on Earth is mirrored there in the ionosphere. So that means that if you put food out here on Earth, it would be reflected to where the ancestors go to after they leave the physical body, there in the ionosphere. All right? So that means that they are able to eat the food, but not the food in which that is there on the altar, but the food in which that is the spiritual counterpart, which is ether counterpart to it, that exists there in the ionosphere.
So that would be like the law of correspondence? Like that.
As above, so below, as within, so without. So that's what that deals with. As far as the chicken, you know, or the goat, or any of all of that, symbolic to the life principle. All right, like we said earlier, life is in the blood. So what they're attempting to do is use the life of those animals, you know, or energy of those animals in exchange, in order to get in contact with, in other words, to add an extra amount of energy in which that they are gathering from those entities, or from those, you know what I'm saying, in order to help with the ceremony or ritual in which that they're performing. So it's just a technique of being able to absorb energy, you know what I'm saying, from that which, you know, which was once living. So you come to find out that even Alex Crawley, he speaks about human sacrifice, in which that he says that the best time in order to the best would be a boy child, and what you would want to do is frighten them to the point in which that basically you know, the adrenaline is pumping and flowing through the body, and then basically kill the individual at that point. And that what they would do, being a Satanist, you know, what they do is do particular rituals and spells as that is happening in order to channel that energy into them. All right. So, this is what they do, So it's really no different, you know what I'm saying? If you're doing a goat, a chicken, what you're doing is absorbing the life principle, which is prana energy. And this that goes back to the spirit, as we was talking about earlier, that everything has a spirit. Anything which that sees, touch, taste, smell, and hear has a spirit. So what it is that they're absorbing that life principle, you know what I'm saying, in order to get certain goals here on earth physically accomplished. All right. Like, for example, when you absorb that energy, it enhances, supposedly the mental apparatus so that you can focus, you know what I'm saying, as you doing the ritual or whatever, in order to bring what you want from the invisible plane, which would be the astral plane, into the seen plane of existence, which would be the physical or material plane. So that's basically how that works and why they do what they do. It's not necessary in order to kill another being, or necessary in order to kill an animal or anything in order to accomplish that. You know what I'm saying? Actually, that is a lower nature, a lower overstanding of those rituals. The higher ritual would be a person who practiced qigong, a person who practiced tai chi, a person who practiced reiki, a person who practiced aikido, a person who practiced pranic healing, or pranic energy techniques, or mental techniques, or thought apparatus. Those energies are actually higher than actually taking the life force from another being or entity. All right. If you was able to channel the energy directly, why do so? You can do so instead of doing it secondarily. You get what I'm saying? And see, the sun, the cosmic energies, they give of themselves primarily. You know what I'm saying? If you got melanin, then you can use the energy in order to channel. In other words, Europeans need those types of rituals to receive it secondarily because they are reflective of lunar beings. That's what the sun does with the light from what the sun, the energy of the moon. Moon does not have a light of its own, so it receives light from where? The sun. Well, we are the sun people, so you don't have to receive your light secondarily. You get what I'm saying? So you don't have to mess with those type of techniques, such as cutting the chicken head off and and all those types of rituals. Those are not necessary. All right. Only thing you gotta do is just step your ass out in the sun for about an hour. You know what I'm saying? And it will re-energize every chakra and every element in your physical body. All your cells will be re-energized from you just simply breathing, slowing down your breath, and bringing the energy into you and making it work for you. You know what I'm saying? And having positive thoughts or focusing on what you need in life, and it will help manifest that. You don't have to go through those secondary routes. So as far as like in the Yoruba, the Voodoo, all those types of things, that's fine and dandy for those that want to practice that. You know what I'm saying? But this is it. This is what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? This is what this is all about. It's the mental, the mind. You know what I'm saying? Ori. You know what I'm saying? And any true practitioner of the Yoruba would tell you that it's about Ori, the mind. All those other things are secondary. You know what I'm saying? The ancestors in which that we call on is DNA. If we you know what I'm saying, or either concepts in which that originate from here, the mind. So it helps open up different compartments in the brain as you calling out, like Obatala, Shango, Emiya, Oya, Olodumare. When you calling those names out, those are names in which that's been chanted, you know what I'm saying, for eons. So they have a power, you know what I'm saying, because they have produced themselves as becoming thought forms, you know what I'm saying. If they didn't physically exist, they exist now as thought forms, and those thought forms are thoughts in which that forms, and so they can attach themselves mentally, you know what I'm saying, to your mental, and help you with certain situations. So practicing of that side of things, and plus they can help awaken the latent DNA within you by asking them to. So it's all based on what people want to do with this energy.
So that's the use of libations and pulling out the
That's the reason of the use of libations, is that it helps, opens, and awakens latent DNA. All of us need our DNA open right now because we want to know what the hell is going on. We want to know who we are. We want to have more power than what we have right now. Man, this is a hopeless, helpless society that we living in. We feel hopeless and helpless in it. Feel like we can't, do any good. If you know what I'm saying. I mean, that's the way that people are feeling. So we have to open more of our mental, you know what I'm saying, than what we regularly had access to, so that we can begin to do more, physically as well as also spiritually.
All right. The second question I asked you, I don't think you touched it yet.
Was that the European?
Yeah, you talked about where did we come from.
Mm-hmm.
But where did the Europeans come from? And also, you ever heard anybody say that we are the water people?
Yeah, well, that's what I just finished. That's what I just finished reading. Was about Nomo. But Nomo. See, you had Ama, and you had Ogo or Nugo, and you had Nomo. Nogo was the same as Adolabroth within the Gnostic text. Amma was the same as Sophia in the Gnostic text. And Christ is the same as Nomo in the Gnostic text. All right? So in the Dogon, you had Amma, who was symbolic to Sophia, the heavenly mother, the divine mother, which was talking about dark matter, and which, or the energies in which that flow from Sirius B. All right? And then you have an implosion in which that occurred, in which that sent forth or released energies into this side of our solar system, in which that formed our sun. That sun became Nogo, or Ogo, as it becomes known, in which that becomes Adolabroth, or Yahweh, as we call it nowadays. All right? Or actually Yaku, which becomes Israel. You know what I'm saying? Then you have Nomo, which was symbolic to the Christ principle, in which that, or the righteous teacher, or whatever term you would want to call it. And Nomo was the water people. All right, they was the amphibious people, as they would say. But that's really talking about us. That's talking about the Syrian beings, the ones in which that came here because of the planet in which that imploded. We came here, and the earth was given to us so that we can have it and dwell on it. But what happened was that there was invaders and intruders, and these was the Europeans, and they took over our position and subverted and supplanted our positions here, and now they're ruling and running everything. But there's a time in which that is coming very soon, in which that we would take the world back over, and the Nomos will return. In other words, we will become the true Nagas, or serpent people once again, the amphibious people once again, in which that we would take over, because we will have more powers than what we have been using for quite some time.
Okay, the white people.
Basically, they are draft.
Do they come from you?
No, but I'm gonna explain what that means. They are a byproduct of Neanderthal and Sasquatch. All right, if you find all scientists tell you about the Neanderthal, and that the Neanderthal suddenly just disappeared. All right, well, come to find out that they ain't disappeared. You will find out that if you read Michael Bradley's book, The Chosen People of the Caucasus Mountain. He specifically says in there that that every European has the genes of the Neanderthal, because they are the Neanderthal. All right. They also are a byproduct of, or a hybrid, I should say, of the Sasquatch being, all right, which is what we would consider the Bigfoot. Now, this Bigfoot being, supposedly, I guess you say spirit-wise, derived from the constellation Orion. All right, that's what it said. However, we come to find out once again is that the Atlanteans took it amongst themselves to produce physical bodies. Matter of fact, if you get this book, it's called Hermetica by Walter Scott. It says in there that the ancient Egyptians said the worst thing that we've ever done was to create man in our image. So basically, they genetically drafted from the genealogy and from these two particular creatures or beings, in which that they like I was saying before, that they channeled the spirits of the Meldekians into these physical bodies. All right, these beings was test tube wise was incubated within an albino being, an albino woman. And so, this is how they came about. And this is why we can say over and over again is that if you got two albino Nubians, they can mix in with each other. And, if they have 4 children, only one would be an albino. All 3 of the other children would be black. 2 will have the traits. 1 would be dominant, but 1 would be totally recessive, which would be the other albino. However, that albino mixed in with another black, would, in other words, it would correct itself after 4 generations, and that gene would not show up any longer as far as albinoism. However, the European can mix in over 4 generations, mix back in over and over. And if they're not mixing back in with black folks, then what happens is that their gene get weaker. All right, so that means basically that they are permanent albinos. All right, this is something in which that nobody has talked about as far as categorizing Europeans. I'm the first one to come out with that. Is the fact is that they're permanent albinos. All right, in other words, you can find albinos throughout the Chinese albinos, Nubian albinos, or what we call African albinos, whatever. You can find all of them, and they can mix back in with each other, and they will have, regular children. After 4 generations, that gene is no longer there. So that's a temporary albino. The European is a permanent albino. So that means that the melanin had been specifically drafted out from out of his melanocytes. See, what come to find out is that the European have the same amount of melanocytes, but he don't have any activation of the melanin within the melanocytes because he don't have any surface melanin. So that means that somebody drafted that process from taking place so that we can identify him. And like I was saying earlier, that the reason why is because he is a physical representation of the lower nature itself, and a physical representation of what we should not want to become ever in any of our incarnations.
Do you agree that black blood is dominant, white is recessive?
There's no doubt. I mean, that's what science say. Gregory Mendel, who was supposed to be the so-called founding rediscovered modern geneticist, of the 19th, 20th century, he said that, that you had big B, which would be dominant, big B, little b, which would be, dominant recessive, and then small b, big B, which is recessive dominant, and then little b, which would be recessive totally. So he put that into a square sequence.
So you agree that 1 drop of black blood
give you the traits of dominancy.
Make you black.
Right.
And that's where I have the problem at.
Mm-hmm.
Our people always say that the white man comes from us.
Mm-hmm.
And he was grafted out of us. So I say, well, 1 drop of black blood means you dominant, right?
The thing is, but you got to understand.
White, so that's why I say the white man ain't come from me.
Well, actually, I would have to say that he did in a sense, because everything originates from the universal man. You know what I'm saying? In other words,
wasn't he created by science?
He was created by science, yes, but remember, we created everything in existence. So the thing is that, there's nothing in which that we created in which that we was able to go outside of in order to create him. We had to use what was already there. And so you have basically, when it says, like the first lesson, who is the original man? The original man is the black Asiatic man, the maker, the owner, the cream of planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. So we God of the universe, you know what I'm saying, and God made the universe, then that means that we couldn't go outside of any universal means in order to make that which now exists here on planet Earth. So he had to have come from some type of latent, you know what I'm saying, stagnation type of part of us, you know what I'm saying. So in that sense, yes, but as far as directly, you know what I'm saying, coming, from us, as far as, we was never the Neanderthal man. We was never the Sasquatch. So therefore, no, not in that case.
Oh, okay. In terms of melanin, speaking of melanin, what part of the body holds the most melanin?
The genitalia area, the back of the head, which is the medulla oblongata area, the 12 pair of cranial nerves and the pineal gland itself, up under the arms, also around the nipples area, as well as also around the anus area. Those are the most melanin-rich sources or sites on the physical body.
Well, get deeper into it. What is this melanin? What is this?
Melanin.
What does it do?
Melanin.
Remember, the white man used to try to tell us that melanin has no purpose.
No purpose, right?
Remember that? You know that.
Right. Well, melanin to him was just called stuff. Everything to him was just called stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't understand it. The cell, the central, the nucleus of a cell was called stuff at one time. When I was coming up, when I was in the 7th and 8th grade, the shit was called stuff. I was like, how the hell can this shit go on? So what the fuck y'all, how the hell y'all damn teaching me this shit about a damn, you know what I'm saying, about a damn cell, and then when we get to the nucleus of a cell, you won't say it's called stuff. I said, what kind of fucking science is this? This ain't no damn science.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's called stuff. And then all of a sudden, then it become a nucleide. In other words, it got a name all of a sudden. But the shit is that it's melanin. All right? That's what it is. At the core of each cell in your physical body, all 76 trillion of your cells, at the core of it, is essentially melanin. So basically, your whole physical body runs off of melanin. What gives you, what gives life itself is melanin. Melanin is black energy or dark matter.
Is it in space?
It is everywhere.
Like when you
90% of what goes unseen is dark matter. Dark matter is the hidden one. It is Amen. That's what dark matter is. It's symbolic to Amen. That's what we say Amen in all three monotheistic religions, supposed monotheistic religions. We say at the end Amen, because we calling on that dark matter.
It's out of the ground too. Comes right up.
It comes everywhere. It's everywhere. Melanin, compose everything in existence, because 90% of the universe is melanin. Melanin, or dark matter, as we would say, is the glue in which that holds everything together in the universe. All right? That's what dark matter is. It is the glue in which that holds everything in the universe together. So everything in the universe in which that is held together is based off of melanin. All right? The thing is that the European, he's a carbon-based being. We are carbon beings. All right? He's a carbon-based being. So there's a difference, is that he has the basics for life, such as he has neuromelanin, you know what I'm saying? In other words, he has some internal melanin, just substantially enough in order to give him a life property. However, he do not have surface melanin, and therefore there's a conflict between his as above, so below, as within, so without mechanism. So therefore, he won't be able to sustain here a very long time because of the conflict between the principle of the law of correspondence. So he's trying to find every way possible to, that's why he always has a tendency to go on against nature, is because he's out of the law of correspondence. So he has a tendency of now trying to do everything he can in order to readjust some things, genetically altered food, cloning, putting up an artificial barrier in the, of HARP, in the ionosphere, so that the cosmic energies won't come through. Blood banks, milk breast banks, semen banks. I can go on and on. Intro fertilization, artificial insemination. All of these things he's doing in the hope, chronogenics. You know what I'm saying? When your body be frozen. You know what I'm saying? Hoping that, you can take the cells of the physical body and draft it back, clone it back into existence. He trying to do every damn thing he possibly can. Melatonin pills to help extend the life principle. DHA pills in order to help extend the life principle. Everything he possibly can in order to gain mortality and to make his life here longer. You know what I'm saying? So, he's out of conflict. He's in conflict with Mother Nature itself. And Mother Nature is here now in order to wipe them off the planet.
Brother Alim, speaking about that, we all see how desperate the white man is getting. You just broke it. You just gave a whole synopsis of how desperate he's getting. How long will you say he has here?
Basically,
some people people talk about 2012 and so forth.
I speak about 2012 because of the fact that the calendar was designed by us. All right, the Olmecs designed that calendar. Even though they give credit to the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, it was designed by the Olmecs. Now the Olmecs first produced it in 3111 AD. BC. And it says, and according to the calendar, it's supposed to end December the 24th through the 31st of 2012 AD. That's when it ends. And a new cycle supposed to come into play. Now, of course, that would just simply coincide with Honorable Elijah Muhammad's 25,000-year renewal of history. So the thing is that we got to rewrite history now. That's what this is all about. The reason why we're getting this information out, the reason why these brothers and sisters becoming enlightened, why they making tapes and they putting out the most profound information of all times. You know what I'm saying? Among black folks at this particular time period is because we are the writers of the next history course, of the next history cycle. And the way that we're writing it is without him in our history. So as long as we keep writing him out of our history, then it will be such, because we are the master controllers of Mother Nature itself. We control Mother Nature. All right? You want to feel the breeze? The only thing you gotta do is imagine it, and it will come. You want to make it rain? You do a dance or some type of ritual, and it will come. All right? You want to make it make the sun shine? Do some type of ritual, and it will come. Everybody knows this. You go ask the Native Americans and ask them what rituals do they have in order to produce rain and the sun, and they'll tell you. They'll show you. Same thing with the Africans. They'll show you and tell you. So it seems like the only ones in which that don't know this information in this day and time are the so-called African Americans. So, but everybody else of indigenous status, they know this information. They know. You know what I'm saying, that we have the abilities in order to do these things. They know that those hurricanes come off the coast of Africa. And you heard Marcus Garvey saying that he will come look for me in a whirlwind. And I will come back with 1,000,000 of the ancestors that passed in the Middle Passage. And we will come to just, in other words, basically to fuck shit up and terrorize and, get these people from up off of your back. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Garvey basically said this almost 100 years ago. So, this is the thing, that we're working on. And so as long as we keep within the traditions of what, our ancestors was teaching, you know what I'm saying, we should see victory, man.
What is it about the African-American man and woman, so-called African-American man and woman, that makes us the despised and rejected of the despised and rejected? You see the white man use the Africans against us, use other folks of color against us. What is it about us that we can't rise, we can't get nothing together, we can't get nothing going in our community? Oh, well, I mean, really, man, you got in this book, it's called by Carol Quigley, who was the teacher of Bill Clinton, William Clinton.
he says in the but I think it's the American Establishment or one of his other one, I can't remember. But he basically says in there that the urban blacks are the ones on which that will that can possibly end the establishment of the New World Order, or the One World Government, basically. The urban blacks, basically. Basically to the European, that's blacks in general in the United States, because they seen the way in which that we was able to uprise in the 50s and the 60s. That scared the hell out of him, because he thought the shit was getting ready to end before he even got started. All right, and actually it was. But what happens is that they lulled our asses back to sleep with drugs. You know what I'm saying? With jobs in which that offer some type of benefits. You know what I'm saying? So they lulled us back to sleep. And by doing so, we see, the condition that we in today. That, to me, that's basically what happened.
Okay, let me ask you a question here, brother. The reptilian one, the reptilian people, who are they?
Basically, the reptilians are us, who we would call those in which that have mastered the Kundalini energy. The word Kundalini means serpentine fire. Anytime that you deal with the Kundalini energy or chakras or anything like that, to a Christian, to a Muslim, to a Jew, all of this is satanic. So basically you're dealing with the dark side when you deal with this type of information. Because to the outward, literal, historical, religious organizations, they believe that God exists outside of themselves. So anytime that you turn God inwardly and believe like what Oral Roberts used to say back in the days, greater is he within you than he that is in the world, then they see you as a Satanist or as a Luciferian. So this is the nonsense in which that goes on. So anytime that we deal with this type of information as far as the Kundalini energy or chakras, we're seen as Luciferians or Satanists because you're not supposed to be dealing with this type of information. So therefore, this is the dark side. This is the beginning of the dark side information as we begin to go into it. So the reptilians basically are us Nubians in which that have the master and control of the Kundalini energy or the force within us, the internal force. We're able to put it into a microcosmic orbit. All right, we'll get more into that in a second because I got some pictures in which that helps show that. But I just want to get all the questions out the way before I went into it, though.
Okay.
So, basically, of course, you read David Icke's books, The Biggest Secrets, and other ones. He would have you to believe that the reptilians are this race of beings in which that are lower fourth dimensional beings in which that get in contact with Europeans, and heads of states, and attach themselves to the first and second chakra, you know what I'm saying? And which, now, you got to understand that the reason why he's saying that is because, number one, is that the European dwells, their whole life aspect dwells at the first and second chakra. That's where they focus their energies at. They don't focus their energies at the heart, throat, or third eye or crown chakra. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that. They focus their energies at the first and second chakra. So therefore, that's where the Kundalini energy dwells at. Is at the first and second chakra within them. So therefore, yes, in a sense, they're reptilians too, because the first and second chakra is controlled by the reptilian portion of the brain, which is the brain stem, in which that's the first place in which that the Kundalini energy comes up from out of the spinal column, is at the brain stem area. So therefore, the first place is the reptilian brain, in which that controls the first and second chakra, which is based on survival and the sexual aspect of your nature.
Okay, yeah, let me go through these questions real quick so you can get into your
Okay,
stuff.
okay.
All right, another thing, Homeland Security.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see coming with that?
Based on the president. If Bush gets back in, as we'll find out within a few minutes.
Do you think he's going? But don't you know it's already done rigged? It's already done set up.
Well, it's been rigged and set up. But if we looked at the game, you know what I'm saying? The last game in which that we seen, we seen a record-breaking baseball game in the World Series in which that basically the Boston Red Sox won, and Curry, happens to be from out of the Boston or the New England area, in which that supposedly broke this record out of almost how long? Like 70 some odd years. You know what I'm saying? From winning so this what that was symbolic to was the fact of Curry winning. Now, that could just be, now I'm just saying that because I've noticed that all of the Super Bowls over the last 4 years, as well as also these other World Series and all these games, all this shit is rigged now. All of this shit is rigged. I go back to 2001, right after the right after the World Trade Center. Who won the football game for that year? It was the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Come on, the New England Patriots at that. You know what I'm saying? And the Patriots, you know what I'm saying? What was everybody doing after 9/11? They was patriotic. The movie Patriot came out. And what was they doing in the movie Patriot? It was Mel Gibson, who was supposedly one of the best looking white guys of all time in People's Magazine. He comes out, he's waving the flag. He's running the field. He's running the whole damn field with the flag waving, right? And he gets to the top of this hill and he plants the flag. And the war is over. Everybody just all of a sudden just stops and say, fuck it, they won and we go home. All right. So we see that was the first setup. I'm like, damn, I'm looking at this. I'm like, God damn, there's a lot of Patriot shit at this time. Like, maybe it's just a coincidence. I'll wait till the next year. You know what I'm saying? Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the goddamn Oakland Raiders. I look up Buccaneers in the dictionary, Pirates. I look up Raiders in the dictionary, Pirates. I'm looking at the symbols on both teams and the skull and bone symbols, basically. I'm like, oh shit. Symbolic of who running for the presidency, because it was after Curry announced his presidency candidacy, and so he's a member of the Skull and Bones. Bush's a member of the Skull and Bones. So I write an article because now I'm like, I got to tell people this shit here. So now I'm writing an article for Frontline Magazine, and I end up spilling the whole joint out. You know what I'm saying? I got into it, got in depth into it. The homosexual practices in the Skull and Bones, how they jack their dick in front of the other 14, each one getting inside of the coffin. You know what I'm saying? How they got to tell all their little, dirty sexual secrets and shit. How they get in the mud and wrestle each other, and how they become soulmates because whoever wins get to damn pop the other one in the ass. All of that shit in the article. In the article. You know what I'm saying? And so I go into the whole detail, telling them Kerry and Bush. I'm like, well, I wonder who Bush soulmate is. You know what I'm saying? And wonder why his name is Temporary. His line name Temporary. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going into all of that. But see, Bush line name is Temporary. You know what I'm saying? So, you're looking at some of the things in which that happened. Who knows? So then this year, who won the series? Not the World Series, but who won the Super Bowl? Patriots. So New England Patriots won the Super Bowl this year. Boston, New England State, wins the World Series this year. So according to the way that they've been rigging the games, who's going to win the election if it's rigged? Supposedly John Curry. Now I don't want John Curry to win. I want Bush ass up in that mug, because Bush gonna slap the hell out of you niggas and gonna wake you the fuck up and have you run into lectures like this. You know what I'm saying? And have you run into information. Because I know if y'all fighting this hard against Bush getting the hell up out and getting Curry up in there, then I know y'all gonna be running to us if Bush get up in there. So vote for Bush.
Let Bush end this shit real quick. Get it over. right. We are our ancestors.
Right.
Sometimes I ask myself, damn, was I here before?
Right.
Was I in the 1800s? You know what I'm saying? Because I always get stuck right there. I always look at that because at the House of Consciousness, I got all the pictures on the wall
Right.
of our ancestors.
Now remember now.
Could I have been a runaway slave at one time? Do you believe in the reincarnation of,
Of DNA.
of DNA?
Now what I mean is this.
Go ahead, break
Is
that
that
down.
DNA, remember your physical body is composed of earth, air, water, and fire. Earthly wise, 25%, water wise, 75%. All right? You're made up in the image of the earth itself. So when you physically pass on, you will find, you know what I'm saying, your temperature itself is at 98.6 degrees, which average out to 99 degrees. All right? That's symbolic to the 99 attributes of Allah that Muslims be saying. That's all the way from El Rahmanu all the way to El Sabah, the patient. So, you read them all the way out, 99 attributes. That's also symbolic to the 99 tetras within your DNA. All right? That's also symbolic to the number 99, that the sun itself contains 99 of the mass in our solar system. The planet only contains 1% of the mass in our solar system. So, that number 99 is very vital as far as in terms of mathematics. So, that's how that works right there. But to answer the question, I need to go further on.
So I know you had some more questions. You said you wanted to get out the way.
You got one?
Yeah, what was that? I don't feel like I completed that one. What was that one again?
Oh, that one was about are we?
All right.
Our ancestors could.
Basically.
Is it too spooky if I say that?
No.
I don't
No.
risk to say I'm dealing with too much spook stuff.
No.
If I say, man, I've been here before and the ancestors talk to me and they want me to keep this story out.
Right.
They want me to let the people know what happened to them. Do I sound spooky, man, when I say that?
No, really.
Oh, all right. I don't want risk to think
You got to understand is that the molecules in which that you breathing in are the molecules of our ancestors in which that is passed on. And that goes from red, brown, white, yellow, and black. All the species on planet Earth and all the animals on the planet Earth, all of them. But however, what it is that the molecules for the physical body has consciousness in it. So they have a tendency of graduating, coming together, I should say, with the fact of up under the elements. Like what we was talking about, earth, air, water, and fire, you find out that the air is the breath, and supposedly 21% of the breath itself for oxygen is what is composed of our atmosphere. 78% of it is nitrogen. So what happens is that when the physical body decomposes and go back to the earth, and the water goes back to, to the source, with water, what happens is that it's drawn up. You know what I'm saying? So the physical body decomposes, rigor mortis sets in and decomposes. Those elements are released, by the plants in which that lets off oxygen. So as those plants let off oxygen, how do the plants receive energy in regards? Through the energy in which that you let off, called carbon dioxide. And also the energy from where? The sun. So you interact with the, remember I told you that there's only one difference between the color green, chlorophyll, and the brown, black coloring of melanin, which is just one magnesium molecule. So, the word magnesium, you hear where the word magnesium come from. It comes from the word magnet. Means what attracts. So it is an element of attraction. Magnesium is an element of attraction. So this attracting element is what draws forth in the atmosphere within each and every one of us the ability in order to draw forth from the ancestors. And so you breathing in the molecules of Nat Turner. You know what I'm saying? You breathing in the molecules of Denmark VC. You breathing in the molecules of Gabriel Prosser. You know what I'm saying? And of the other, you know, revolutionary brothers and sisters. Whatever your mind state is at, that's what you would be in tune with. So therefore, will be, produce an attraction, you know, order. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And plus, your DNA goes back to 7 generations on each side of your mother and father. So therefore, basically, what that means is that you're a byproduct of 7 generations back on each side. So does 14 generations. In other words, that would be symbolic to the number 14 would be the 14 pieces of Osiris. And you coming together, completing the whole, making you Osiris in this day and time. So that's what that is all symbolic to. So yes, you possibly could have been Nat Turner, or have the molecules of the portions of Nat Turner within you, thus opening and awakening and coming together with the DNA, ancestral DNA, in which that is already within you, in which that is helping you, you know, live, you know, this today life as far as doing what you do. No doubt.
Okay, another 13 minutes. That'll be 2 hours. What you want to go for? Another hour before you leave?
Yeah, another. What time is it?
Maybe.
What's that? 8:32. Okay, yeah, that's straight.
Do you have anything?
Well, yeah, like from my understanding, man, like living humanity and just life itself, it's like a prison system for your soul. And like reincarnation is like going back to jail. You know what I'm saying? It's like your soul, you trapped down here again. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being in the heavens. So for those that don't know or want to avoid reincarnation, what should they do here in life form? Just live, be righteous, be moral, or
basically
more to it?
That's a portion of it. Basically, Buddha give you the complete cycle of it: proper diet, proper thought, proper meditation, proper ways in action and behavior, proper living, you know, a livelihood. You know what I'm saying? In other words, your job, your career, something which that you enjoy doing, something which that you don't hate. You know, because most people wake up on Monday morning hating it and dreading to go to the damn job site. So therefore, that means that you shouldn't be doing it. So doing and finding something which that you enjoy doing, giving your life a purpose. So proper purpose and meaning and mission in life. So those are the you know, 8-fold path of Buddha, in which that he requests, you know, that we follow what is called the middle paths, so that we can stay in tune and in balance. You know what I'm saying? Not to one extreme of negative and not to one extreme of positive, but yet negative and positive do meet in the middle, and so therefore you balance those out. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you might get angry or upset, but you don't feel the anger and upsetness inside of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you might have to correct a student or somebody that you're teaching, but you correct them, you know what I'm saying, in a harsh manner, but it's not, you know, in the intent of harming or hurting them. All right? So there's a difference of even anger itself when you use it. Anger can be used properly. You know what I'm saying? Even in other words, the negative traits in which that we have can be used properly. Lust can be used properly. You know what I'm saying? Lust, there has to be a form of lust in order to get your penis up. If there's no lust, then you won't get up. So what the hell is this talking about that you have to relinquish? You know what I'm saying? You can't totally relinquish your ego, because your ego is what keeps you physically here, alive. You know what I'm saying? It's your ego that keeps you here. You know what I'm saying? For the time being in which that you here. You know what I'm saying? This is just a place in which that we're here in order to at one point, just like what we was reading about the nomos. The nomos were the watchers or the monitors. We was the guardians. This was a prison. And we came here in order to watch the prisoners. But now we become the goddamn prisoners because we allow the damn the inmates to run the goddamn insane asylum. You know, when we was the goddamn ones who was watching over the insane asylum. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, so now this is an experiment in which that has gotten totally out of hand, and now we suffering in the midst of it, you know, along with the goddamn crazy ass people. You know?
Let's see, get into when I say the words to you, the insane nigga. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you? I ain't talking about from the way you broke it down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right
talking
before.
about
Right.
niggas is insane today, man.
Right.
You know?
Well, if you read Egyptian yoga, on the walls of the hieroglyphics or the mental nets on the walls of ancient Kemet, they have a circle at the base and they have a circle at the top. And the circle at the base is symbolic to the Kundalini energy resting at the navel chakra and at the root chakra. So that's a nigga too. Then you have the Kundalini energy in which that circles the head area, and that's a nigga. That's a naga. All right. So there's two sets of niggas on this planet. The ones who work off their lower nature and the ones who work off their higher nature. All right. I'm the type of nigga that attempts to work off his higher nature. You know what I'm saying? Utilizing the lower nature, of course, in the process, because you can't relinquish your lower nature. You know what I'm saying? You must also use it in order to sustain the higher nature. But what most people don't understand is that, they lose track of it and they get so indulged in the lower nature, you know what I'm saying, that they lose themselves in the mix of it, and become confused and get out there. And so therefore, you produce an insane nigga because their mental become fragmented. You know what I'm saying? You hearing all this information that we talking about, niggas attempt to try to study this information, you know what I'm saying? They might not find the proper books, or they might be listening to this person, listening to that person, and they can't balance out all this information properly. You know what I'm saying? Or either, shoot, they just listen to, to their teachers in college or high school or junior high or whatever the case may be. Tell them that they come from a damn ape. You know what I'm saying? And here we come talking about, nah, you don't come from ape, you come from God. Oh, you into that spiritual shit, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'd rather come from God than the goddamn ape any day. You know what I'm saying? That's me.
Black shit.
You know what I'm saying? Right. That's me. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather say God than ape any day. But, these are the insane niggas of the world, man. They don't want to hear, nothing about, this black shit or this spiritual shit. Everything they do, you know what I'm saying, is something in which that, you shouldn't learn because you ain't supposed to ask your pastors about this. You're not supposed to question nobody about this. This shouldn't be talked about. You should just live your life and go to school, go to work, come back home and start your day over again, going to school and going to work for the next 70 some odd years or whatever the case may be, and just be happy with the way that things are here on planet Earth and just get yours and, as I got mine type of attitude. You know what I'm saying? This is some silly ass shit. Because like I always say, the average nigga, the insane nigga, he got his 5 pillars of faith. He eats, sleep, shit, fucking go to work. You know what I'm saying? At least, in Islam, you know what I'm saying? They have shahada. You know what I'm saying? Bearing of witness. They had El Saum, you know what I'm saying? The fasting. They had, they have El Hajj, you know what I'm saying? The making of the pilgrimage. You know what I'm saying? They have, prayer or dua, you know what I'm saying? They have their own 5 pillars of faith. You know what I'm saying? They have the bearing of witness of Allah, la ilaha illallah, wahdahu la sharika lahu. They have all of that, you know what I'm saying? They have, their own 5 pillars of faith. And to me, that 5 pillars of faith is much stronger than that bullshit insane nigga on 5 pillars of faith any day. You know what I'm saying? When they don't want to look beyond these senses, you know what I'm saying, in which they eat, in order for one to eat, sleep, shit, fucking go to work, they got to use the 5 senses in order to do so, and they refuse to go beyond the 5 senses. They want to stay at that. They want to stay at just a life conscious level, intrapersonal conscious level, and that's really sad because there's so much more. You know what I'm saying? It's like a person just saying, I'm a person, place, and thing, or they just a noun. They're just dealing with the 3 aspects: solid, liquid, and gas. When there's other etheric states and other higher states in which that exists.
Okay. All right. We left off with the insane nigga. Mm-hmm. When we head back into this, I'm gonna show a clip, and we're gonna get into the pro of nigga, of why they want us to stop using the term nigga. Mm-hmm. Because they know that inside of that word there is power. Right. That's what Azariah would say. Right. Right. So we're gonna end this part here. Yeah. That's 2 hours we completed. And when we come back, we're gonna flow, brother. You gonna just go ahead there. We already
Yeah,
got all the questions
yeah,
out the
we
way.
got all the questions out the
You
way.
gonna flow, you
Got
gonna
you.
build it, we made
We're
everything
going
to
to
the Darkside, the Underworlds.
deal strictly with the dark side. Got
All
you.
right, brother.
Divine people of Buddhism. This is a 2nd century depiction of Gautama the Buddha being given his first bath by the divine people of Buddhism called Nagas, a tribe in Asia called Nagas, the divine people of all the people of Asia, symbolized throughout Asia by the serpent or the dragon. That is their symbol. The Naga means serpent or dragon, the snake, found at the entrance of every temple. The Naga on the roads, on the hills, in the caves, the symbol of the Asiatic black man, the tribe called the Nagas, the divine people. There are cities also throughout Asia that carries this particular name, Naga. It can be seen at all ceremonies dealing with worship of God. From the Nile Valley to the Indus Valley, on tombstones, a symbol of immortality because of the serpent's ability to change his skin, is a sign of never dying, and is used throughout the planet Earth, North, South America, Egypt, Asia, Africa. Throughout the world, it's the symbol of life after death, the Naga, the serpent. In all ancient cultures, in all ancient religions, the serpent is the symbol. The Naga, the symbol of divinity, of God. The original inhabitants of Southeast Asia was called the Mons, an African tribe. In order to confirm what these people look like, you have to go to the archaeological finds from Dabarati, a French archaeological research finding confirming the original inhabitants.
Welcome back. Once again, you just finished seeing Eugene Adams. And basically, he was telling you the divine origin of the word nigga, in which that I wrote an article for the Frontline magazine, in which that had a lot of the information, which they I never seen the tape before tonight, thanks to brother Sarnetta. But on there, he basically broke down the same thing that I ended up discovering, through my own research, is that the word nigga has a divine origin. And we know that the word nigga supposedly means black, according to the Webster Dictionary. So now we're getting ready to go into the black or the dark side. And so there's an article in which that is called the Nagas, the serpents. It's by Soro Karania. Now check this out. It says the word Naga is the root word in Sanskrit to mean serpent. In the East Indian pantheon, it is connected with the serpent spirit and the dragon spirit. It has an equivalency to the Burmese gnats and the god serpents. And in the esoteric tradition, it is synonymous with adepts or initiates. In India and Egypt, and even in Central and South America, the countries that he mentioned that the word Naga goes throughout, the word Naga stands for one who is wise. Now we know that Webster Dictionary, that when I was coming up in the Webster Dictionary, it used to say that the word nigga meant one who was ignorant. So now we find out that actually it was the flip. As we know, the devil used tricknology, and he liked to flip, use wordplay. So the word nigga, to a lot of people still meant, because of the definition in which that was used at that time period, even though now Webster Dictionary don't use it. Go and check it out. The word nigga now is defined as one who is black. It's no longer defined as one who is ignorant now. So that's the little game right there. But check this out. It goes further. In Naganuna, or Arjuna, in India, it said, for example, it's shown with an aura or a halo of 7 serpents. Now, of course, those 7 serpents are talking about the 7 chakras, which is an indication of a very high degree of initiation. The symbolism of the 7 serpents usually are cobras, and as we know that there was a cobra in which that came up over top of the head of the Buddha as he gained spiritual enlightenment. All right, is also on the Masonic apron of certain systems in the Buddhic ruins of Cambodia, with Angkor Wat, which is some of the places in which that we just finished on that clip that you might have seen from brother Eugene Adams. it says that Angkor Wat's, that the great temple builders of Angkor Wat's were considered to be semi-divine Khmers. Now, Khmers is from the same word as as we broke down before about the word Khnum. Khnum basically is symbolic to the former or the fashioner, the formation of the life principle itself, which deals with these currents of energy in which that is in a serpent-like pattern. So therefore, is dealing with the Kundalini energy also. And it says right here, the avenue leading to the temples is lined with 7-headed naggers. And even in Mexico, we find the word naga, which becomes nagal. In China, the word naga is given to the form of a dragon. And now we go to the Bible in the book of Revelations, it speaks about, in the Revelation, the 12th chapter, it speaks about the great red dragon. That great red dragon is talking about the Kundalini at the base of the spinal column, or at the first root chakra seat, which is usually deal with the color red, because red is the slowest spectrum color, you know, of the whole spectrum. Is the red is the slowest color of the whole spectrum. All right. That's what is meant by the serpent is being wrapped 3.5 times coil at the base of the spine. And it says the naga is given the form of a dragon and has a direct association with the emperor, and is known as, who's the emperor is known as the Son of Heaven. Now this is the same title in which that they give to Jesus, who is known as the Son of God, who is the known the one to ascend up to his Father, who art in heaven. You know, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. You know, so all of this is symbolic to the fact of a person who is highly initiated. So anybody who's highly initiated, who becomes the 7th-headed naga, which is talking about he who becomes the 7th-headed crown chakra seated king or pharaoh, a nagu, where the word nigga also comes from out of Africa. Within Africa, there's certain words in which that we'll go over in a second, in which that the word naga derives from. All right, even though it was used throughout the world, you had the word naga, in which that meant the empress or the pharaohs within ancient Kemet, and the word nagu, which meant the king or the pharaoh or emperor in ancient Kemet. All right, and then you have the countries Nigeria and Niger or Niger. All right, and the word Niger is the masculine form and Nigeria is the feminine form, and therefore you find both countries up under, you know, right there, close proximity, right up under each other, and you find them connected. You find out that the Igbo people or the Nigerians come from out. They was once in ancient Kemet and they left ancient Kemet and came into and formed those countries. They's part of that ancient mystery school also at one time. So therefore, you find the word, they still using the word Niger or Nigeria to this day. All right, and then it says also the Chinese is said to have originated with the serpent divine or demigods. All right, the word demi is short for demon, and we'll get into the word demon and into the dark side of that, because the word demi or demon, when you really look at it, the word dem comes from the word team, and on means heaven. Team means hidden sun, so it's the hidden sun of the heavens. So when you speak about the fact of a demon, you're talking about the hidden sun, which art in heaven, which you're talking about the black dot in the pineal gland. As the Kundalini energy raises up through the 7 chakras, it hits the pineal gland, and inside of the pineal gland is the black dot, which is the doorway or the spirit door, in which it leads to the other galaxies and to the other worlds and to the other dimensions, density levels, realms, cosmic zones, or whatever term that you would want to use. All right, is the door in which that helps you slide into the next dimension. Is the doorway in which that helps you leave the physical body at the point of death. So therefore, that is the doorway. That is the black dot. All right, that is basically that breakdown of the word demon. And even to speak their language, Naga Krita, for a place there has no serpents, Tibet, they are still known in a symbolic sense as the Lu, which is the Naga. Then you have Naga Juna, called within Tibet Lu Truba. And then it says in the Western traditions, we find the same ambiguity for the word Naga or serpent. And of course, in Genesis, the serpent is the Naga who instructs the new infant humanity in what is called the knowledge of good and evil. And then it says the Christian church has unfortunately transformed the initiate teacher into a tempting and negative demon character. All right, we already broke down the word demon. Naga is one of the handfuls of rare words that survived the loss of the first universal language. So the word Naga extends all the way back to the first language in which that we spoke on planet Earth, in which that supposedly one of the in which that would be called Nagal. All right. Matter of fact, you hear a little bit of it in I can't remember the name of the movie, but Louis Gossett, he played a Draconian or a Draco being, and he was speaking in the serpent in this serpent type of tongue. All right. In Buddhism, wisdom has always been tied symbolically to the figure of the serpent. All right. And then you have in the Holy Bible, New Testament, Matthew 10th chapter, the 16th verse, it says, "Be ye therefore wise as serpents, but yet gentle as doves." That correlates to that same thing too. So we knew at one time the serpent represented wisdom. However, it got out of hand, due to the misinterpretation of what is mentioned within Genesis, and therefore the serpent got a bad rap. But actually, at one time, the serpent itself represented the soul, the divine soul. Because you find that the serpent was once the symbol of, is also a symbol of Scorpio. Scorpio has three symbols. Scorpio has the symbol of the Scorpio or the scorpion. Then it has the symbol of the eagle, and they have the symbol of the snake. All right. So Scorpio, that's the month that we're in right now, is November. The first week of November deals with Scorpio. And that deals with transformation or death, or the spirit Dorth, or whatever, which also deals with that serpent power also. So it represents transformation. You look up on the Tarot deck, which is 22 major arcana cards, you find that the death card represents spiritual transformation. So the serpent itself represents spiritual transformation at one point in time, which is talking about the soul essence. Right here, as the brother broke down early on the tape, from the clip that you seen, there was the word has spread throughout various cultures and languages. I'm gonna go into some of the culture and languages in which that the word Naga has spread it into, and some of the words in which that it has become. All right, like for example, in Africa, in Swahili, Naga conferred Noki. All right, Noki. That's what it becomes within Swahili. And in Basuto, Africa, the word for serpent is Noga. Noga. N-O-G-A. Noga. All right. According to the Metu Netta by Raoul Neffel on page 63, you get the word Naga and Nada. All right, in which that is talking about undifferentiated energy matter to giving rays to the ninth manifestation. The ninth manifestation is known as the mother of all living things. All right, we know that's the Kundalini energy. Jeremiah maintains that the Y in the names is not a primal sound, but rather one that evolved from the G sound. So Nanya or Nanya, which is spoken of as in the native indigenous American dialect, it actually means, Nanya means serpent. All right. The Dogon god serpent and the Kemetan Egyptians serpent are identical. The god serpent is also called the one who dances in the shadow. In the Dogon's pantheon, the seventh ancestor transforms into a serpent. Remember, you are the seventh ancestor. You are now the physical representation of the seven ancestors in which that you descended from on your mother's side or and on your father's side. So you are now the transforming serpent. All right, you are the Christ now. Matter of fact, the symbol of Christ at one time was a serpent. All right. Matter of fact, that's why Jesus went into the wilderness, was to take back the symbol of the serpent from the devil. That's what he was there for 40 days and 40 nights, was mastering the foundation of life itself, earth, air, water, and fire, which combined becomes ether. And ether is this Kundalini or serpentine force in which that produce everything in the universe and that we all now see, touch, taste, smell, and hear. All right. From towards the tombs of the oldest men, the soul embedded in the pineal gland, which oversees the third ventricle. All right. According to the African Origin of Biological Psychiatry by Dr. Richard King, the word Nagad in the Egyptian hymn to Amun-Ra, the sun god, is said to have sent his arrows against the evil serpent, Naka. Then you have the Chaldeans, who taught that the most ancient times a race of extraterrestrials, the serpent men, was called Nagashna, all right, who warred with Typhon, who were the Titans. Then you had the Chinese pyramids, which was built by the Mao of Vietnam, and guess what? The word that they called themselves was the Nakhes in southern China, and there are still a remnants of them now that live there. Then you have the African word Naguru. Naguru is where you get the Vedic Sanskrit word guru from, and the word guru means wise or teacher. All right. This is also the third eye chakra is also called within the Vedic text the Guru chakra. So this is where you find the ancient Kemites who comes with the Uraeus, in which that comes out right there at the third eye area, and is the form of the Uraeus is the form of what? A snake. And the word Uraeus means basically means light, and Aeus basically means serpent. All right, so it's the serpent of the light, or the serpent light, or the light serpent. Because the light itself is in a serpent or what is called a elliptical pattern. All right. Then you got Naguni. All right. In the Amazulu, in the South African term, Naguni means basically the ancient ones. So when we speak about like on the tape that we did the other day, we was talking about the return of the ancient ones. That's what we was talking about, was the Naguni race. The Naguni, or the Nagas race, in which that is now returning. You are now returning to who you once were, and that was the serpent people, or the reptilian people, as David Icke would say, for lack of a better terminology, because we know what he's a CIA agent. He's trying to give, once again, our ability to back to Europeans, claiming that that's who they are. All right. Then you got the Nogo Nanyama, which means lion, and its symbol is also not just a lion, but it also is a serpent, and it means praise the name, and is another name for the Amazulu king. All right. Then you got the word Negro, of course, in which that in Spanish it means black, but the word Negro is closely tied to the word Necro, and Necro means black or dead. And so the connection with the black and the dead is not necessarily a negative one. Even the word negative is from the word Naga, is derived. The word Naga means the black serpent, or the magnetic current, or the Ida of the Ida in the Pingala yoga traditions. And the shaman ruler depends upon the journeys into the other realms above and below to contact ancestors and the forces and to achieve power. So this is how the shamans achieve power, is by raising and mastering the Kundalini energy, which is called the Naga force. All right. Then you got the word Naga, and the word Naga means the golden one. So when you see Eddie Murphy in The Golden Child, that little boy was an image of the power of the Naga. All right. He was somebody to the Naga, with the word nigga originate in which that the African word nigga originate from Negger. That is within the pyramid text out of ancient Kemet. You know what I'm saying? So it's off the walls of ancient Kemet. That word is used there, and Naga was another name for the god Geb. All right, the word god Geb, and Geb was the messenger god, or the earth god to planet Earth. All right, because remember, the earth was given back into the earth will be given back into the hands of the Nagas. Remember, that's what the brother just finished showing you was basically the returns of the Nagas, the returns of the ancient ones. That's what this is all talking about. All right. Then you got the word nigga, and the word nigga denotes the word knowledge or wisdom, and and it don't mean, of course, as the Webster Dictionary word we just finished breaking down, do not mean one who is ignorant. All right. Then you got the word Niger. The word Niger derives from the ancient Kemetic word Negu, which means serpent king. All right. Then you got the word Nigeria, which is the feminine derivative of the ancient Kemetic word Naga, where the word Naga comes from, which means serpent queen. And the Kundalini energy is defined as the mother principle and the all-pervasive energy of the universe. All right. Then you got Nagina. The Nagina in Mesopotamian lore basically means justice. That stands for justice. And as we know, that Sedek or Melchizedek in the biblical sense was the highest archangel, and he was the angel of justice. And we also know that the word Michael itself derived from the word Ma'at, all right, or Heru Ma'at, or Kahuti, in which that the word Ma'at represents once again justice. All right. Then we have other words such as Niagara. The word Niagara, as in Niagara Falls. The word Niagara means black, or serpent, in which that it represents the serpent fall, or the waterfalls, or the black falls. All right. Then you got the Naga Nages, and the Naga Nages means the serpent or the kings of kings. All right. Then you got the Nag Hammadi text. And the Nag Hammadi means the serpent black guide. That's what the word Nag Hammadi means. The serpent black guide. Then you got Nagasaki. Nagasaki is a Japanese word in which that means the serpent spirit or the serpent life force. All right. Then you got the Nagal once again, which is from the Mayan words, in which that is one of the first universal languages, in which that it means serpent god. All right. Then you got the word Netcher. Netcher or Netter, as it becomes, is actually what the word nigger derives from out of ancient Kemet. And of course, we know that the word Netcher or Netter means God. So the word Naga actually means God, who possesses wisdom and knowledge. The same attributes in which that we give to Allah or to God today from out of your Bible and from out of the Holy Quran, from out of all of the scripts in which that you read around the world. The baskets of the 5 baskets of Buddha's sin, the Tao, Confucius information, everybody in which that speaks about it. All right. Then you got the Nogal. Nogal is the ancient Sumerian word in which that means serpent healer. All right, because the Kundalini energy, if you ever see the caduceus of the medical symbol is 2 snakes intertwined going up a pole, in which that as they get to the top of the pole, which is symbolic, that little ball at the top of the pole is symbolic to the pineal gland. And at that point, the wings spread out, which is symbolic to the expansion of the mind of the right and left hemisphere of the brain. All right. Then you got the word, then you got various words such as, in which that derive from the word Naga, like the word Napa. Like the word Napa becomes the word prophecy or prophet later on within Arabic and Hebrew. Like for example, the word Naga, you get the word from the G transformed from a G to a B, and it becomes Napa. So Naba becomes the word prophet or all-eye seeing, or a person who is able to see or perceive in depth. In other words, one who has great insight. And the only way that you can get that is if you raise the Kundalini energy. So therefore, the word Naga becomes Napa within Arabic and Hebrew, and therefore you get also within Africa the word Nubu or Nuba, which comes Nubian as later on as it becomes, which also means serpent, all right, or serpent race, all right. Of course, you know the word Nubian to us means black people. So of course, when you use the word Nubian, you're still saying serpent race, serpent people, all right. Then you got the word El Naba or Lenape, all right, and the Lenape people are supposedly the indigenous people right here from out of North America, but they were Moors, in which that comes from up out of the Delaware area, and the Lenape people basically means the serpent people also, all right. Then you got the word Nabi, and the word Nabi within Arabic means master of knowledge, all right. Then you got the word Neb, in which that means golden one or gold. Then you got the word Nab, spelled backwards would be Ben, B-E-N, in which that's symbolic to the phoenix bird or the serpent in the sky. And then we go on and on and on with the origin of the word nigger, in which that shows you the science of the Kundalini energy and the black race or the people in which that it represents, and in which that has this capability and these powers in order to get back into what we call the kingdom of God. All right.
All right. Get a little bit into your dark side.
All right.
Get into some esoteric knowledge or something like that.
Okay. Well, all right. All right. Now, this is from the lessons, all right, of the nations and gods and earths, and basically it breaks down like this: is that first from the mind comes darkness, and all about this darkness exists the mind, and in mathematical terms, from the lowest terms to the highest form. The mind is in the form of the supreme power and the force, and it is the universal biochemical force and physical composition. The mind always existed, always was, and will exist, and it is the form that made the alpha and omega. The mind travels at the speed only that they can detect. The mind being so developed and so terrific that it made matter by compounding molecules into three basic elements, in which that we now see as liquid, solid, and gas, in which that made our planets. Now, from that alone, we go into Isaiah, the 45th chapter, and it says, I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace, and I create evil. The Lord, I do all these things. So the Lord do all these things. All right, this is Isaiah, the 45th chapter, the 7th verse. So God makes the light and he creates the darkness. All right, we just finished talking about the mind created the darkness. So what is God? God is the mind. All right, so we go here and you find out about the dark side. Oh, yeah, I can't see it too well on that. Can you see this? Not that good, can you? But I'm going to read it. Okay. It says, there's a great source of light entering our solar system through the zodiac door of the lion. And the lion is symbolic with an ancient Kemet to Segmot. All right. And Segmot is symbolic to the Kundalini energy itself. Matter of fact, the word Sek basically deals with the in the Sa'unk principle, which represents the destiny of life itself. All right. And Ma'at, of course, we know it deals with justice. And it says this energy is altering our DNA. Now, if this energy is altering our DNA as it comes in, then you can see the reason why the European is making genetically altered food, so that it won't alter our DNA. All right. And so it says the supreme light is black light. The supreme light that is coming in is black light. All right. This is where we get into the dark side. It said this super color will allow us to connect to a higher orbital level. There are 7 energy states of the electron. And we know that from the red span, which is the slowest, to the red spectrum, which is the slowest, to the highest violet band, which is the quickest or fastest rate on the spectrum scale. And it says these higher colors will raise the atomic structure of our physical bodies by causing all of the electrons in our bodies to jump. In other words, make that quantum leap at once, breaking the 7 seals and the 7 shells of the electrons. The atomic structure of the brain must be sped up. Scientists today are now finding out that your molecular density works with certain frequencies of light radiation, in other words, color. And when this color is changed, the molecule density is also changed. Now, you should be able to see this much better, right? Mm-hmm. All right, as you see here in the center is what? Black light. Black light. Right. Now, right here, let's read a little bit. White light is intimately regarded as the color in which that spans the ranges from red to yellow, yellow to blue. But what is this relationship? The apparent answer is that white light is the summation of all colors that comprise visible light. This suggests that if you add all the colors from red, orange, yellow, green up to and including blue and violet, you will produce white light. However, apparent answer are not necessarily complete ones. When you read the brief primer on the colors, you will find out that actually the color in which that all of these, even white light itself, derives from is black light. Now, you find out that dark matter is composed of quintessential matter, all right, which is black matter, or dark matter as they call it, approximately 65%. And that 25% of it is what is called black energy. All right. Well, what this black light or this black energy is what is now coming into our atmosphere, seeping through the ozone layer. It is that's why the ozone layer now has holes in it, so that this energy can be directly given to us from the cosmos. All right. So you find right here that it says this black light processes that transforms matter into energy and energy into matter. So this black light will help you be able to manifest from the unseen to the seen, from the seen to the unseen. If you understand what I'm saying. In other words, it will give you the ability to dematerialize and materialize things in which that you see fit. That's what it will give you. In other words, the abilities of what we call now ESP and all that good stuff. All right. Now, when we deal with the dark side, we got to come up with the word Satan. The word Sat comes from the word Set, and the word Set comes from the word Soot, and the word Soot means black. All right. Matter of fact, you look up in what's the dictionary, S-U-T becomes S-O-O-T, and soot is something in which that stains black. All right. It's basically like a carbon element. So you find out that Set On within ancient Kemet was the name for Heliopolis. On was the name for Heliopolis. Is the word in which that the word Anu or An, in which that is derived later on in Sumerian tongue or the Sumerian language is derived from, which means heaven. So you find out that Sut An means the black heaven. So that's deep. That you got the word Satan, which that means the black heaven, but yet we look at Satan as something real negative and say, well, that's something in which that, we don't really want to deal with, And so you find out that if that means the black heaven, and I'm just finished telling you where this black light is coming from, is from where? From out of what we call the heavens. You get what I'm saying? So this is why Bobby speaks about this dark side stuff, is because of the fact that when you break down the words themselves, it tells you what's going on. So Set On or Satan means the black heaven or the black god of heaven. Now you go to Charles Finch in his videotape called Dark Matter. He specifically made mention of the fact that Aquarius walks hand in hand with this black king. All right. Now who is this black king? All right, I don't know if I can't remember if he goes into detail, but I'll go into detail about it. This black king is talking about from the constellation Cephus. That's C-E-P-H-E-U-S, Cephus. And Cephus basically was what is called the Ethiopic king. In other words, the black king. All right, now you put Lu in front of Cephus and you got Lucifer. And you find out that Cephus is directly behind Aquarius. So if Aquarius moves and is moving into position, who is moving with Aquarius? Cephus, Lucifer, right? So this is also the science too of this black king or this cipher in which that is coming back. And remember, I just finished telling you that the word Lu in China meant serpent. Is part of the Naga term, part of the Niger term, part of the nigger term. So, when you get into this, then you really find out, well, hold up, who's Lucifer? Well, let's go. You find the word Lucifer, it's a Latin word. It's a Greco-Roman Latin word. So, what is the Hebrew translation of the word Lucifer? You find out that the Hebrew translation of the word Lucifer is Uriel. Uriel was the 7th highest angel in heaven. All right? You had Michael. You had Gabriel. You had Raphael. You had Azrael or Azrael. You had Gamiel, and you had Samuel, and the last was Uriel. Uriel, if you look up in the Dictionary of Angels, that's one of the books, Dictionary of Angels, you will find that Uriel was the Lord or the ruler over hell. The word Uriel means the fire of God or the light of God. Now, you also find that when you get into metaphysics, that The pulpit or the depths of hell or the pits of hell is actually talking about your genitalia or lower nature. All right? The Lord of your lower nature is your Kundalini energy, which is sleep, which is half asleep, 3.5 times coil at the base of your spine. That is Lucifer. Is your Kundalini energy when it is sleep. When it is risen, it is your Christ. In other words, when it's here, trapped in the lower nature, it is Lucifer. But when it's here in your higher nature, it is your Christ. They are brothers. They walk the same path. All right? So you find out that Lucifer and Christ are one and the same. So when you look, you see the picture of a Horus Set, and you see Set at the back of the head of Horus. Yeah, you see Horus, Horus and Set together, they combine, and you see Set coming out the back of the head of Horus. Matter of fact, it's coming out the back of the head of Horus with the exact spot of what is called the medulla oblongata. I got a picture of it around here somewhere. If I get time, I gotta find it for y'all right quick. Matter of fact, give me time.
Now, who is that?
Now, this is Horus or Heru Set. And as you see, Set is coming out the back of his brother's head, right at the medulla oblongata area. Now, this is deep because that spot in particular in which that the jackal head of Set is coming out of is called the mouth of God. Ooh, that's deep shit. Hold on, wait. In the medical field, this area right here, which is, right at the back of the knot of your head, and right up at that hollow area, right there in which that the spinal column comes up and then goes into the brain area, that area is called the mouth of God. And you got Set coming out of that area. Now, you find the same storyline of Jesus in the Bible. Remember Jesus rode on the donkey, going through the city of Jerusalem, and the people had psalms in their hands, and they were just palms in their hands, and they were just saying, Hosanna, Hosanna. The word Hosanna in Hebrew means grace be to God. All right? Or grace be. So you find that they don't even say Set, they just say Horus. This is Horus, a major Egyptian god. But this is Heru Set. In other words, Jesus, the devil. So when Jesus in the New Testament, remember he got tempted in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. What did he tell the devil? Get thee behind me, Satan. Oh, there it is. Get thee behind me, Satan. So, did Jesus have Set to back him up? Because guess what? This is one of the most rich melanated places in your body. It's at the back of your head, the medulla oblongata. It's called the mouth of God. This is where it is said that the soul of the of certain people come in at and resides. Is at the medulla oblongata. At certain levels, when the Kundalini energy hits right at the back of the head, that means that the soul came in at that particular area. All right? Now, so this shows the polarity between the two. Lower nature, higher nature. Lower mind or subconsciousness, higher mind, consciousness. Devil, God. Lucifer, Christ. That's all this shows. Lower nature, higher nature. All right? So that's the signs of the dark side. We go further on. This is the frontline joint that I was talking about. And here go my article right here, from mere men to super niggas. Right here, from mere men to super niggas. And you open the joint, you see the hangings. In which that brother Sarnetta always break down on. And we got it right up here on the front page to make sure that we get everybody to remember this shit too. And then as soon as you turn over, there go my article. Bam. Dropping all this mad stuff that we talking about.
What's the title, Joe?
The title is From Mere Men to Super Niggas. Oh, okay. And this is where I speak about the word naga at, and it's over 2 years old. You know what I'm saying? When I wrote this article. And when I actually originally wrote the article was actually 6 years ago. All right. That's why I asked you how old that joint was,
Right.
cause I never heard nobody just break it down like this before. But I'm glad that that we know that this is what it really is, cause all my information backs up the same information. And I go through the fact of the first time that somebody called me nigga was this little white girl, and I got so upset that I kicked the ass off a bike. That's right here in the first paragraph I speak about that joint too. You know what I'm saying? She won't use that word no damn more. But right here, now check this out. Now we went through the visible spectrum. Remember, the visible spectrum is the third dimension. All right. That's what we go. I'm gonna have to get my papers here. But what you see here, this is from A to Z, Vitamins and Minerals by Jewel Pookrum. She shows you in there that the black man has the capability of seeing experiencing energies from all the way from the electrical power all the way to cosmic rays. You see his span? Bam. They go energy power, electrical power all the way down to cosmic rays. The Chinese have it from microcosmic to UV rays. The European only has it at visible spectrum. The visible spectrum only ranges between the colors red all the way to violet. All right? And what's making it so ill is that from red to violet is only the third dimension. So his capabilities only spans within the third dimension capabilities. All right? Then you got the Puerto Rican, the Mexican, in which that has ability from X-ray vision all the way up to electrical power. But the one who got the greatest perception, and range of all of these energies, and it says right here, please study this chart very, very intently. This chart is a mathematical and pictorial demonstration of the photonic vibrations race of each primary race present on the planet Earth. This chart demonstrates various spectrums of photonic activity innately perceived by each race. So we are the only race on the planet that can perceive all of these energies. All right? Now within here, you have above visible spectrum, you have UV. UV is ultra high frequency or ultraviolet frequency. All right? This goes back to what we taught on the other day about the science of the channel, the TV channel. So, VHF and UHF. Mm-hmm. UHF takes you into that black light that I just finished showing you spectrum, which is UV. That's why the European can't take the UV rays. What happened to him when he with too much UV rays? Yeah. He gets skin cancer. He gets carcinomas. He get all types of skin cancers. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't have the electron capabilities of handling the energy in which that is coming down. He can't transform like we do the sun rays into vitamin D into a hormone. He don't have that capability in order to help with that melanin ability. All right. So therefore, anything above visible spectrum is the dark side. All right. Let's get that shit straight. When you have a black light, the black light don't cast off the color black. It casts off the color what color? Purple, violet.
Right. I was gonna say blue.
Right. So that means that's the color in which that. Well, what do they? Prince wrote a goddamn song about it. It's called Purple Rain. Goddamn it. the purple rain, purple rain. That's what he was talking about with the ultraviolet rays. You know what I'm saying? The rays in which that comes down, you know what I'm saying, and touch the crown chakra. That is the black light. That is the light in which that we talking about, the dark side. You know what I'm saying? In which that taps you into the realms higher than just consciousness. Consciousness is just the three-dimensional realm of the visible spectrum that we talking about. Above the visible spectrum of consciousness, you have subconsciousness. All right, super consciousness, magnetic consciousness, and infinite consciousness, in which that all of this taps into. Now, we go to the word black. All right, this is once again out the dictionary. And right here it says you related to group of race categorized by dark pigmentation. All right, then you come down and it says thoroughly sinister or evil, wicked. All right, then you come down some more, connected to or with invoking the supernatural, the devil. So so black. So when we talking about the dark side, shoot, you right here. If you call yourself a black person, what's the dictionary defines you as already as being wicked, already as far as you being dealing with the supernatural. In other words, fucking with voodoo, roots or whatever as you want to call it. He already defines you as being right here, marked by the occurrence of disaster, very sad, gloomy. All right, and right here, thoroughly sinister and evil. So let's break down the word evil. All right, the word evil comes from the word Eve, in which they claim that Eve was the mother of all living things. All right, now hold up. Eve means the mother of all living things. How can she be the mother of all living things? And the only thing in which that she should have been the mother of was just all living beings. But it says all living things. That's how they define the word Eve. So we know that Eve was not just a physical person. Eve was talking about a concept of energy in which that produced everything into physical manifestation from the invisible to visible. So that means Eve was symbolic to the Kundalini, all-pervasive energy herself. And since Christians, Muslims, and Jews see the woman as something in which that should be submissive, controlled, dehumanized, only used for sexual purposes, for knocking them up and getting them pregnant, and if they get out of line, slapping them around, you know what I'm saying? Then the woman is relegated to the state of submissivity, submissivity, as well as also she's in a state of being passive, and therefore she got to listen to everything which that is said and told to her, and must do it. If not, suffer the consequences. So basically, you find out that this woman later on is relegated as far as being evil. The Muslims back in the days, if they did not have a male son, they would take the female son, get on their horse, and these damn desert Arabs would take the female child and smash them up against the rock because they didn't want a female child. So there's a very strong hatred of the woman aspect within all three of these religions. You know what I'm saying? So you wonder why so much homosexuality within them. You wonder why, you know what I'm saying, the Arabs are one of, you know what I'm saying, you find so much homosexuality, you know, is because that's what they're dealing with, is the hatred of the woman. You know what I'm saying? So you find that Eve, you know, represents the evening, which is once again the nighttime or black. And so, you know, represents the black woman herself. You know what I'm saying? So when they talk about evil and you get the word El on the end, and the word El means God, you know what I'm saying? So you're talking about the black God or the black feminine God. You know, you're talking about the Kundalini energy in essence. All right? And so that's what the word evil actually represents. And that's the reason why they have it characterized here as far as the definition of being black. All right.
Working on me. I had to get some water on my
Right here. Right here. So we ain't got too much longer to get up in a minute. All right, right here. This shows you that out of the blackness comes forth all of the colors. All right. And as you see, the last spectrum actually would be that of white. All right. In which that, you know, from the black comes the white, and then the rest of the primary colors, which is red, blue, and yellow, to the secondary colors, which is purple, orange, and green. All right. And as you see, the sun is all around it, symbolic to the fact of the black sun or the black light itself, in which that permeates and produces the white light, in which that produces the visible spectrum, as we just finished calling it. All right.
You know what? You did a tape on Islam, man.
Right.
I think you need to do a revised version, man.
All right, we can do that.
Yeah, so we could probably bring you back up next month.
Okay. Well, I got a whole lot more information.
Whatever, Rich. What you think, Rich, that we missing so far? And you could do a lecture on.
think about that. But Islam, that'll be fun. I ain't get that one.
Yeah, well, but I would like one better, a better one. Because they didn't have the mic on you.
Nah, they didn't have a mic. But right here, you can actually see what I'm talking about as far as the visible light. You see the dark line that going all the way over here, and then it expands, and then you see third dimension, color manifestation. So these colors in this dimension, from the colors of red all the way to violet, is what produce physical manifestation. So what happens when this black light comes? What is it going to do to this? It's not just going to it's not going to get rid of the colors. What it's going to do is enhance them. In other words, it's going to take them from out of just the average range of dealing with a third dimensional reality and take you into a fourth, maybe even a fifth higher density level, so that you can manifest things in which that you want to see fit. And this is one of the reasons why the European is scared, and the reason why he's shuffling and and trying to move around and stop all this from happening. All right. Now there's a little secret key on how to do this, because you already have melanin in your body, which is this black light or this black energy already, or this dark matter or black matter. You already have it. So what it is now learn how to absorb the energies of the cosmos and the energy of the sun, so that you can participate in the activation of your Kundalini energy and actually the destruction of this earthly system. All right. Now, what you're going to do is we're going to get into some of the techniques right quick on how you want to do it.
That's the Reiki that you talking about?
Partially, right. All right. Now, you have 7 chakras. So in order to, I guess you could say, align your chakras, there's a real simple method. Once again, we showed you before about the 2 fingers. What you would do, just simply take from the head down to the navel area and back up in an 8-figure fold like that. And you would do it 3 times. And that within itself aligns the chakras. Now, there's another technique in which that you will rub your hands together. You'll place on top of your head, crown area. And whenever you stop feeling the tingling in your hands, or any sensation in your hands, such as the tingling, warmth, or coolness, then you will move to the next area, over the eyes, over the side of the face, over the throat, over the heart, solar plexus,
And you breathe in
navel,
at the same time.
and genitalia. Now, you would do this, you would have your hands rested there for at least 3 to 5 minutes on each area. All right? In the same regard, you can tone while you're doing it. Now, the best breathing exercise would be at this particular point is just to breathe naturally, but breathe from your abdomen area. Do not breathe from your chest. You would breathe from your abdomen area. So you will make sure your stomach pop out like a balloon, and then as it sinks back in, you know what I'm saying, it would deflate like a balloon also. All right? Go ahead.
All right, for these few minutes we got, man, can you touch on some rituals, man? On some.
Yeah, well, that's
wise to do that on.
But that's what I'm. That's basically what I'm doing now.
No,
all the
I'm talking
rituals.
about rituals where you can kill the enemy.
Oh well.
You don't think that's wise to do that on camera?
Basically, there's a technique of doing it. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta make sure that you don't harm yourself in the process.
Right. Okay.
Basically, what you would want it. Well, if you wanted to do something like that, what you would want to do is create your auric field, and put the color black into your auric field. And as you put the color black into your auric field, what you would want to do is say, whoever comes in contact with this auric field, in which that, you know what I'm saying, that don't coincide, you know what I'm saying, like for example, any European that comes in contact with this auric field, you know what I'm saying, would perish.
All right, I'm not
You know
good.
what I'm saying?
I'm not good with doing a ritual around me.
Yeah.
Around my table. what do you see? What's the best thing that I could do every day when I come outside to do a ritual around me to make it like
basically just
make it hard for any negative to come into
basically
me,
just imagine yourself just visualize gold light around your physical body. Gold light, that's a protecting light, and that also is a healing light. So anything in which that would be harmfully thrown at you, you know what I'm saying, might be cast down near your table or whatever, all that shit would bounce off and you know what I'm saying, and go back to the individual in which that shit came from. So basically putting on the shield of God, basically that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? You only usually see shamans of high initiation with a gold light around them. So therefore, and matter of fact, that was one of the elements in which that was brought to Jesus, remember, was gold. So, you know that that's one of the forms of protection and healing.
I remember you saying something else, and I heard Daoud say it, where he said he always read the book of Psalms.
Right.
Every day.
Right, I do too.
Before he go out.
Right, I do
Which
too.
What chapter is that again?
What, as far as protection? You were Psalms 1. For to protect you against any harm from anyone would be Psalms 1. You know what I'm saying? So that would be very good to do. Okay. In order to destroy one's enemy would be Psalms 2. So I mean, you got problems, shit, you want to destroy them, it'd be Psalms 2. So I mean, see, I don't really like dealing with, what I'm saying, the destructive side, but it's necessary because if you got enemies, then you got to vanquish your enemy. You know what I'm saying? So, no, this is just some of the things in which that we talk about, Any other questions?
You showed me some of them techniques you was telling me about earlier. I told you I was feeling pain inside.
Right. What you do, once again, rub your hands together, and what you will visualize is your hands engulfed in fire, all right, or light, intense light, gold light in particular, if you want to, or either orange light, which represents nurturing light. And what you would do is just take your hand and place over your abdomen area and your back area where it's been hurting at for at least 5 minutes or so. All right. And then, after you finish, do it again. You know what I'm saying? And what that helps do is speed up. When you use Reiki, what it does is help speed up the rate of healing 3 times quicker than average. All right. The average person, you know what I'm saying, when they get in adult age, heals 3 times less than they did when they was a child. So what it does is give you the capabilities of becoming a childlike again and having those same healing abilities. Because if you notice, you remember back in the days, you get a cut, boom, you know what I'm saying, you go inside, boom, all of a sudden you got a damn scab already forming on that joint. You know what I'm saying? So it helps speed up the metabolism and the cellular regeneration and regenerative properties. All right. Now, what I was saying too is that also as you do the healings to the 7 particular sites in the body, actually there's 16 areas in which that you put Reiki at, but I deal with mostly the 7 because of the fact that the other ones through those 7s, you know what I'm saying, because those are what is called ductless glands, or the endocrine gland system, in which that produces the hormones from out of the physical body. So, and will keep the physical body in hormonal balance. So it deals specifically with Ma'at. That's what Reiki deals with Ma'at itself, keeping you in balance, all right? Not to one extreme and not to another one. So as you're doing it, once again, it was at the crown. You can say, I, at the eyes, E, at the side of the face, E, at the throat, oh, at the heart, oh, at the solar plex, oh, shh, go, and then at the navel, ooh, at the genitalia, you, and you would sound, or for the 3 to 5 minutes in which that your hands are located there. You can do it 7, you know what I'm saying, 7 times, 7 times. In other words, in the cycles of 7, if you choose to. And that helps even quicken the healing abilities more so, regulating the energy from inside of the glands you know what I'm saying, inside of your body, as well as the energy coming from the outside. So it helped balance the inside, as above, so below, as within, so without mechanisms too. So even speeding up the healing ability even quicker. All right. There's certain other techniques such as Qigong. The 3 best exercises, I'm gonna have to stand up for this one out. The 3 best exercise would be these. Yeah, you gotta pull it back some. Is your feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, pelvis tilted forward, arms relaxed but at your side with a little gap in between them. You know what I'm saying? And what you would do is breathe in, and as you breathe in, raise your arms. Breathe out, relax your arm. That is the basic one, all right, in Qigong. Then,
And what does that do? That relaxes the body?
right. And you do each one of those 20 times a piece. Now what it would do is this one, it expands your auric field and cleanses out your auric field as you take your hands from over top of your head and wave them down. All right? It cleanses out your auric field. It also removes crystallized debris, crystallized debris in which that might have accumulated, like from negative experiences or negative thoughts for that day, or stressed out situations, or problems in the environment. It helps alleviate leaks and holes in your auric field. So it helps strengthen your auric field and helps with the healing of the physical body. It helps with relaxation. It helps with deepening your meditational practices. It helps with basically the absorption ability of this cosmic chi energy in which that I'm talking about, coming from the black light, all right, coming from which is UV light, coming from X-ray light, coming from gamma and cosmic light, all right. It helps bring forth the energies as they act as step-down transformers into the energy into your physical body, all right, thus healing you in all of those 7 chakras as the energy comes down from the top of the head all the way down to the genitalia area, all right? So that's a large portion of the science there. Let me see here.
All right, yo, what time your joint leaving, man?
This is a picture of the endocrine gland system which that I'm referring to, and how the black light will act as a step-down transformer of energy inside of the physical body, and actually causing the the 76 trillion cells in your physical body to actually jump in vibration. All right. These are the 7 endocrine glands. We start down here at the pineal gland, which is a gray gland that is about the size of a pea with a pine cone shape. It sits in the center of the brain. The pine cone is rich in neuromelanin, a phase timing information processing interface molecule, which is a phototransducer. There is a substance that has the ability to turn sound into light energy into light. Oh, sound energy into light, and vice versa, light into sound. Neuromelanin is a light-sensitive compound that triggers the release of a substance which contains phosphorus, a light-producing chemical. By stimulating the pineal gland through the light and sound music, you actually create a stronger field of light aura around the body. All right. The pituitary gland is a small reddish gray vascular mass overlaid shape that actually is about this. Actually, is in the shape of the vaginal area itself. The pineal gland is in the shape of the penis head, of the head of the penis. However, the pituitary gland weighs about 1 gram and is about 1.2 centimeters, and width is about 1.5 centimeters in length. This gland is located near the frontal part of the brain. Then you have the thyroid and parathyroid glands, which weighs about 30 grams and is located under the chin area of the neck. The parathyroid glands are about 4 or 5 round bodies, and each one about the size of a lentil. Then you have the thymus gland, which consists of about 2 lateral lobes, pinkish gray in color. It is about 5 centimeters in length and about 3.5 centimeters in breadth, and at birth it weighs 8 centimeters. All right. It diminishes in size after puberty. The heart is about the size of your fist, and the chamber is located at the center of your chest, and the thymus gland rests right above it. All right. Then you have the adrenal glands, which is about 4 centimeters long and 5 millimeters thick, and weighs 5 grams. They're about 2 triangular bodies located above the kidneys. Then you have the spleen, which is elongate, dark reddish with a ovoid body located behind the heart on the left side of the body. Then you have the testes and ovaries that are which they are about the almond size, approximately 4 centimeters in length, 2 centimeters width, and 1.5 centimeters thick. They're located in the lower regions of the torso. All right. So when you're doing those exercises that I just told you about, that's actually what you're doing, is healing this energy, and the energy is going to transform once again from visible light spectrum to black light. So this black light is going to heighten the electrons, as I was reading earlier, within the physical body from a VHF interpretation, which is very high frequency, and transforming it from a VHF to a very high frequency, ultra high frequency, where melanin no longer will have a gap in energy, but it will become superconductor of these electromagnetic properties. All right, that's basically it for me. Is there any more questions?
Well, we'll welcome you probably next month. Hopefully next month, where we can drop something else, man. Because we would like to bring you in at least once a month, man. That's how you we have a little workshop going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, man, that'd be good, man.
Okay. Well.
So do you have any closing statements about what you have just touched on, as far as the dark side? Tie it all up in a nutshell, as in the closing statement.
Basically, when you look at the word devil comes from the word double, which is talking about your lower nature. Also comes the word doppelganger, which you read Jerome Massey's the lecture book, you will find out that he speaks about the doppelganger, in which that is talking about your etheric body or your lower body, in which that manifests after the death of the physical body, which would be called your double body. Also, in your physical body, it would be considered what is called your lower self or lower nature. That is the Kundalini energy resting once again 3.5 times core at the base of the spine. While you also have another Kundalini Shakti, in which that is right here within the center of your brain. And both Kundalini energies or serpents are waiting to unite in divine marriage, or the marriage in which that is mentioned in heaven, the bridegroom and the bride, in which that is talked about within heaven, in which that Jesus said he's the bridegroom waiting for his bride, and that's what he's talking about. Once again, Lucifer is Uriel, the seventh archangel, in which that Uriel resides and rules over hell. All right, and hell is the pits of your stomach area, your abdominal area, which is your lower self, which once again is the dwelling place of the Kundalini energy, which is the same place in which that when you do Qigong, which I just finished showing some of the examples of, you bring the energy into your navel chakra and you focus your energy on the navel chakra. And the navel chakra is what controls your sexuality, your sexual prowls, I guess you can say. So you have that. Then you have the word evil, so it's the black god or whatever, and then And the teachings tell you who the black god is. The black god is the Asiatic black man, the maker, owner, cream of planet Earth, father, civilization, god of the universe. The word demon comes from the word ancient Kemetic term, team on, in which that team is short for atom, or atom, which becomes later on in your Bible is Adam, in which that becomes within physics of something which that you can't see, you know what I'm saying, which is invisible, which is an atom, in which that carbon atom itself made up your physical body. And therefore, only thing I'm really seeing is 0.00001% of what appears to be solid before me. So therefore, and on means heaven. So once again, you got team on, which becomes deem on, in which that basically means the hidden God of heaven, or the hidden substance of heaven, or the hidden or the black hidden substance of heaven, which is talking about once again dark matter or black energy, and also the black dot in your pineal gland, in which that is also classified as heaven in the esoteric teachings. That would wrap it up for me as far as breaking down these terms of the dark side and the underworld. Once again, the underworld itself is nothing more than the subconscious. The word sub means under. You know what I'm saying? And the worlds just means same thing as dimensions, or conscious states.
And with that, when we say black power, brother,
Right.
we talking about black consciousness.
Black consciousness.
See
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
That's right.
So a lot of people get scared when
Right.
we use, you know,
Right.
bitch, you know. When we say black power, we talking about
Black power.
black consciousness.
Black consciousness.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a whole lot of other things.
Right. We talking about the black dot. We talking about the black
Exactly.
matter. We
Black
talking about black
information.
energy. We talking about all of that. It all sums up the total.
Positive towards our black consciousness
Right.
and our black people.
Right.
That's what
Right.
we mean by black
Right.
power.
Right.
So a lot of people get scared when we say black power. What you mean?
Right.
I ain't into that,
Right.
that militant shit,
Right.
man.
Right.
You with the organization, man.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We
Right.
talking about black power, meaning
Right.
we need to build our black schools, black libraries. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Things
Right.
like that, man.
Right.
So with that, my brother, black power.
Black power.
Hand for that one, man. Damn. That was serious, man.